The skyline of New York City, the city that never sleeps, but when boxers sleep, they dream of fighting at Madison Square Garden, where ProBox TV is coming at you tonight. We start out in the heavyweight division. Jerry Forrest, who has faced the best of the best, taking on Earl Newman, a talented amateur looking to set his professional career straight in the heavyweight division. Edward Vasquez came within points of being the IBF champion. He is looking to set the record straight against Kenneth Taylor. Incredible talent in this showdown tonight. KONRAD KACZMARKIEWICZ from Poland, 7-1-1 versus KAINELL Wheeler, who believes in his power of his 7 wins, 6 by knockout. MYKQUAN Williams has looked amazing on air at ProBox TV, can hurt you with either hand. His opponent, LAVISAS Williams, says, I'm going to put on a boxing display tonight. And in our main event, it's MIYO Yoshida versus SHURRETTA METCALF in a rematch that SHURRETTA METCALF says Yoshida was ducking the entire time. METCALF, however, won in a very close decision. Will we get the same fight tonight? Jimmy Smith in the ProBox TV studio, alongside two men who know New York boxing very, very well. Of course, the champs, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri. Usually, gentlemen, when we see a rematch, the winner fights the same fight twice, but it's Yoshida who became the champion, so we may not tactically see the same fight at all. Paulie, what do you think?
Yeah, and you know what? There was a bit of controversy the first time around. You know, a lot of times, I feel like when they say the winner of the first fight, a lot of times they say there was a higher percentage they win the rematch. I feel like it's because the person who may have gotten robbed or lost a close decision the first time around tries to change too much, you know, and they go away from what got them there in the first place. You know, we'll see what happens tonight, but a really interesting fight is the way this thing came together. Well, kind of blows my mind that I'm still trying to puzzle it, piece it together.
Yeah, SHURRETTA was talking about Yoshida ducking her, that she wants to avoid this rematch, and you know she's the one that won last time. It's a little time travel going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's bring everything up to speed here. So we got November 7th, these two fight. Right. SHURRETTA gets the victory. Very close fight. Outboxes Yoshida, who's a very forward pressure fighter. A month later, December 9th, Yoshida gets the call. Last minute replacement, steps in to fight Ebony Bridges for the IBF title. Wins! She wins the fight. But the funny thing is that SHURRETTA, in beating Yoshida the first time, the month or prior, set herself up to fight the champion. Guess what? The champion's the girl you just beat. So now we get this fight here tonight. So
you got to beat her to get the right to fight her.
Exactly. All right, well, now that we have the boxing logic worked out, it's one of those things where you look at SHURRETTA. She has the size advantage, she has the height advantage, but Paulie, in the previous fight, she was the boxer, she was the mover. Yoshida really believes in her short-range power. This is when she won the title. And in that fight, it was a lot of clinch, let go, throw the power shot. That's what she did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if you're Yoshida, especially in this fight, you've got to be able to close range. And Yoshida does a lot of work at close range. But the question is, will Metcalf allow her to close range enough to be effective? Because this fight is, for me, is all range. You know, Metcalf has the height advantage. If she can keep it on the outside and use a good jab, it makes Yoshida's job a lot tougher. Because all that work ethic that she has, she can't do it unless she's closing range. If she is able to close range, it's a different fight.
Chris, I want you to put your kickboxing gloves on for a second. I know I'm taking you back a little bit here, but a lot of clinching, only 2-minute rounds. It's easy to burn you know that from kickboxing. It's easy to burn a couple minutes, clinch, hug, oh, round's over. So you land a few punches, you clinch, and you can win rounds that way. Is that a possibility tonight?
I mean, that's what SHURRETTA did to a degree. She boxed well from the outside. She's able to hit Yoshida on the way in because she has the height and reach advantage. She's a good boxer. She throws nice straight punches. And then when she gets inside, Yoshida wants to be in close. Whoop, grab her, spin her, get back to the center. I mean, that will be my game plan all night if I'm SHURRETTA METCALF.
Yeah, it's one of those where the physical differences are going to be very interesting. You see the heavyweights getting ready to go, and this is one where the physical differences might be extremely stark. Why? One of them, Jerry Forrest, a very experienced heavyweight, a very big heavyweight, but his opponent, Earl Newman Jr. Chris, you said you know him well. You saw him on the come-up, Golden Gloves champion in New York. He's fought at light heavyweight, and we were talking before air, and you're like, he wasn't a big light heavyweight.
No, this is a big step up. Jerry Forrest is a legit heavyweight. He had a draw with Jilei Zhang, who's one of the best punchers in the division, and he's a super heavyweight. So this is a big step up in terms of size for Earl Newman. But Earl, man, he's got a lot of experience. He is a very classy classically trained fighter. You got Andre Rozier right there in his corner, who's a fantastic coach. So this is an interesting matchup and a clash of a true heavyweight and someone on their way up.
In the small, in the very least, if Rozier's in your corner, you're going to be conditioned.
Yes,
there are
that's
very
very
conditioned
true.
fighters in his gym.
And you see the height advantage of Earl Newman, also the weight disparity in this fight. The question is, where does the weight come from? We talk about conditioning, we talk about having to get ready. Which fighter is physically ready for tonight? That is the question. Both fighters in the ring now. Historic Madison Square Garden.
Those distinct lights in the theater, Madison Square Garden.
Nothing like it.
You know them
Nothing
immediately.
like it.
Yeah, especially for us New Yorkers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Tonight, DeBella Entertainment proudly presents Broadway Boxing Heroes on the Hudson 2. We are live at the world-famous theater here at Madison Square Garden in New York City. We'd like to welcome all of the viewers that are watching worldwide at ProBox TV. This event is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. Our first fight tonight is brought to you by Roberts and Ryan, a New York-based veteran-owned broker-dealer and National Football League. DeBella Entertainment presents 8 rounds in the heavyweight division. Your judges, Georgie Gergoff, Frank Lombardi, and Anthony Lundy. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and red. He weighed in at 252.8 pounds. His record, impressive. 10 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, introducing the Flash, Earl Newman Jr. And now, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red and black. He weighed in at 216.8 pounds. His record, 27 victories, 6 defeats, 2 draws, and 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Newport News, Virginia, presenting Jerry Slugger Forrest. And when the action begins, your referee is Eric Daly.
Okay, gentlemen, you already know the rules. Let me remind you to keep it clean, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch glove. Good luck to both.
We get ready to go for round number 1. Unfortunately, both fighters in black and red. Newman, however, on your right now you are looking at Jerry Forrest. He's in the black and red with the trim. Got the tassels around it. That's not going to tell them apart.
The commission used to make you change your shorts.
Not this time. You got to tell by the tassels. And we're underway round number 1 in the heavyweight division.
Not too simple. I like that ring announcer. He had an old school feel to it.
Very, very old school. I liked it.
Wasn't gimmicky with no extra yelling. I liked them.
Jerry Forrest coming out very, very comfortable here. Obviously, the guy with the much more experience, triple the amount of fights that Earl has. Obviously, has a lot more experience at heavyweight.
Champ, you had a knee injury.
Let go of his arm.
You see that knee brace on Earl's knee? What do you think?
I don't like it. I don't like it. One, having an injury is a problem in boxing because there's a lot of lateral movement, a lot of cuts you need to make, a lot of explosive maneuvers, but also when the fact that you have to wear it during the fight. Because I had an injury a lot, and I wouldn't wear that knee brace. I didn't want that to be visible.
I remember Yuri Foreman's knee gave out.
Yes, in the Cotto fight. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a mover as well, so he really needed it that night.
Referee forced the fight to continue. Let's not go back there. But you see, of course, this idea that you fake it. You don't wear the knee brace. You don't let your opponent know that you're even a little bit compromised. Also, Newman coming in over 250, an incredibly heavy. You see the size difference there. Nice right hand.
And his classic in terms of
Yes.
boxing abilities. He's got a good classic boxing style.
This is a guy who started late, started boxing after high school, yet still a Golden Glove champion in New York. And Paulie, Chris and I were talking about that. It's rare to start late and yet have an amateur career, which you did.
Yeah, I won the Golden Gloves after high school too, but I dropped out.
Different thing.
Head start.
Work your hands free. Work on it out.
Right now, Jerry Forrest, no problem working on the inside. We asked him in the fighters meeting, what do you learn fighting those more experienced guys, the killers you've been in those you learn a lot, but you learn a lot of patience. This is a guy, when you talk about the Zhang fight, he was knocked down once a piece in the first 3 rounds, came back to get a draw. That shows heart and guts, gentlemen.
Southpaw over Southpaw in the Zhang fight, huh?
Yep.
Yes, yeah. And Jerry, I mean, he's really light tonight. He's very trim. This is the best shape I've ever seen him in. He's fighting a much bigger man tonight, obviously, in Earl Newman. But as you said at the Open, Jimmy, you know, he's a former light heavyweight. He's coming up. Like, what is he really made out of him? We're going to see that tonight.
The difference, gentlemen, Paulie, you know well, the frame. You know, it's the frame. How much weight? You can gain a lot of weight. Do you have a heavyweight frame? That's the question.
I mean, Earl's a tall, wide guy. He's got wide shoulders, tall guy, long arms, beautiful right
Right
hand.
hand's been landing consistently. Just, you know,
Head and body. There's a good one to the body.
Yeah. Jerry's got to get his head off to the side. What do they call it? Tim called it the weak side.
Weak side.
Yeah.
Get out to the weak
Jerry's
side.
got to get out to that weak side. He's had 2 out of the punch down the middle, and Earl has, it's like a honing device with that right hand.
Earl's boxing very good off that back foot, being very sharp with the 1-2 down the middle.
Looking to counter with power punches.
So far, the brace not having an effect.
Welcome back to ProBox TV. Working with DeBella Entertainment, this co-promotion out of New York, Madison Square Garden. We're looking at 2 heavyweights. One coming up from a light heavyweight. That's Earl Newman Jr. Right now there is Jerry Forrest, guy who's fought the best of the best in the heavyweight division. Hasn't always come out on top, but has shown certainly improvements in his game as he has moved up. The start of round number 2.
Good sharp round for Earl Newman Jr. in the first round, using that 1-2, fighting off the back foot, very, very smart, very effectively, very efficiently, is Earl Newman.
Yeah, he's got a good sense of range. He's either, you know, swiping the shots away, or he's stepping out just out of range and then able to counter. It's a good, see, there he is again. You know, he's sliding away from that jab, that southpaw jab. And Jerry really not able to get anything started because he's not able to touch him with the lead shots. Although there's a little touch with the lead left.
It seems as though Forrest may not have been prepared to take on a real heavyweight-sized guy, and he's facing that tonight.
Yeah, and it's a heavyweight who has a bit of movement, you know, and it has a bit of understanding of that range, and that's what he's using tonight so far to the best of his ability.
You know, Jimmy, you said that in the corner. I saw Jerry shaking his head no pretty fervently with his corner. That's really the body language you want to see in the corner.
Not a good sign.
That's a good body shot in there, speaking of body language, right?
Question is, Newman, of course, inconsistent since 2017, has not been very active. Chris, you talk about it all the time. It's the mid-range. When you start fighting guys that are on your talent level, undefeated guys, how do you handle that, and are you consistent? Newman hasn't been able to do either one of those.
Yeah, but he's had some experience because he hasn't been completely off because he's been fighting and competing in the TCL in a bunch of fights with I believe it's the New York team. So he's at least been in the, he's been in the gym, he's been out there, and they're not traditional fights per se. You're fighting one round here and there,
but you get a fight every week.
Still, you're getting a fight every week, and you're in the gym.
Keeps you sharp.
That's really important.
And they won the title in the first season when he was on the team, so he helped that team out.
Yeah, does not count on his official boxing record, but as you said, keeps him in the gym, and so far he's looked sharp, especially with the lead right, able to catch Forrest coming in on multiple occasions.
Yeah, this fight's been pretty basic with both guys, leading with 1s and 2s and the occasional hook here and there that's not been that effective. Zero, it's tagged a little bit on the end of that shot, but not really effective. And Jerry's not really been able to close range the way he's wanted to.
Yeah, so it's exactly what you said, Champ. It's about the dictation of range by Newman. He's being able to stay on the outside and keep the shorter Forrest. Although Forrest has a longer reach, he's able to keep him at the end of that jab right there.
You see also the jab of Newman puts Jerry out of position.
Oh, good body shot.
While when Newman slips and slides, his positioning is pretty good. There's some good body shots there.
Decent combinations on the inside from both fighters. So the size disparity so evident. 6'1", 216 pounds for Jerry Forrest. Earl Newman, 6'3", weighing at 252 pounds.
Listen, I like Newman at heavyweight, man. He's got the light heavyweight scrappiness, but he's got that physical size to go with it.
Oh, good shot there by Jerry.
Welcome back, ProBox TV alongside Tabella Entertainment, bringing you a night of fights from Madison Square Garden, the heavyweight division. What has turned into a very entertaining scrap. Earl Newman Jr. versus Jerry Forrest. In the corner right now of Earl Newman Jr. 6'3" out of Brooklyn, New York. Talked about fighting at home. He goes, I won the Golden Gloves at home. No pressure here for me. This is my old stomping ground. I'm used to it. Start off round number 3. Both in the red and black. Difference with the trunks. Okay, so Newman, of course, kind enough to put his name in the front. Both fighters in these first couple rounds have had their moments. Newman, to your point, as you said, Chris, the end of the last round, looking surprisingly good at heavyweight.
No, I like it. He's like I said, he brought up that slickness, that scrappiness that he had at light heavyweight, but now he's got that physical side. He's at, plus 250 at this point. He's maintaining range perfectly. As you said, champ, timing everything that Jerry's doing.
Forrest, when he has been able to land that left hand, it's been not typically on the tail end. He's not been able to get that meat part of the shot in there to really get the attention of anybody when he does land it, especially get the respect of Newman even.
Jerry Forrest in previous fights, look at the Zhang fight, for example, a lot of overhand lefts in there. That was his money punch throughout. It's a battle of southpaws, but always commits that one overhand shot. To a combination puncher, generally speaking. We've seen that tonight.
I really like that straight right hand down to the pit of the stomach from Newman Jr. It's been a really good weapon that he unfurled in the first round.
Yeah, and also keeping it simple. And that KISS method, keep it simple, stupid, as they say, right? I mean, a lot of times that applies to fighting, keeping it simple. And right now, Newman is, not being too complicated, but just the ability to control range, not put himself at risk, and he's just a little bit more creative than has been Forrest, and he's been able to, create openings off of that. A little uppercut there by Forrest. Every once in a while, Forrest does do something good. It's just not has been as consistent as Newman.
Well, gentlemen, nice jab. Snaps the head back of Newman.
I think that's been the best.
A bit cornered.
That's been the best weapon for us tonight. Has been the jab. It's been a nice, snappy, quick jab. It's just not consistent at all.
Both of you gentlemen say it all the time. You have to look beyond the numbers for this fight. Jerry Forrest much more experienced. Earl Newman Jr. 10-3-1 as a pro. Jerry Forrest right now sporting a record of 27-6-2, and a lot of those against really excellent names. But the idea that maybe he didn't expect this kind of a fight, and it's taken him a second to adjust to that, Paul.
Yeah, Jimmy, also 36 years old. Maybe other commitments in life. Things do happen.
Chris, you said that about Newman Jr. You said he's a tough guy. Life can be hard.
Good shot there by Forrest on the inside.
Want him coming in.
Might be Forrest's best round so far.
And Jimmy, you mentioned that overhand left that Forrest was able to use on Zhang. That was a really good, tricky, nasty left to the chin there that he just landed.
There goes a good little left cross as well. Maybe the old man has had to get the engine started a little bit. Sometimes those old cars, you got to warm the engine first. Good round here for Forrest in round 2.
Taking a little time to get going, but round number 3 so far looking good. As you said, Paula, this idea that you might be starting to get going in round number 3. Chris, how do you like how both guys went to the corner?
I mean, yeah, I saw Newman look a little uneasy as he was walking. I don't know if it was the knee. I don't know if it was from those left hands. Either way,
Maybe
not a good
little
sign.
bit of both.
Yeah. Good left hook there from Newman. You actually heard the coach Andre Rozier go, "Ay!" That usually means he lands a good shot, but the end of the round was Jerry with this big shot there. That had Newman thinking
Right
twice.
there. Or even that one. Let's see, man. Sometimes those old Buicks, those old Cadillacs, you gotta run the engine. Especially it's getting cold in New York, you know?
Looking at the corner of Earl Newman Jr., Golden Glove champion in New York. First fight at heavyweight so far, at least keeping up with Jerry Forrest, but did the tide turn in round number 3? We're gonna find out very quickly. Jerry Forrest not starting out in this 4th round as if he's really trying to test the chin. Going back to the boxing on the outside.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy, I like how he's made sure to come out being first. You know, Newman has not really, you know, looked to dictate things in this round. It's been good defense, good head movement, but again, he's not getting that idea to be the boss in the round. So you want to be able to try to control this enthusiasm that's starting to, you know, happen here on the part of Forrest. So again, there's Forrest being first again.
Yeah, Newman's giving up ground this whole round.
And you worry a little bit, Chris, about a guy carrying over 250 pounds with basically a light heavyweight frame, but that gas as the fight goes on. You worry about that a little bit, Chris.
That plus the fact that Jerry Forrest has so much experience. Yes, this is only an 8-rounder, but still, I mean, experience shows pretty quickly in these kinds of fights. And everybody's got 3 rounds in them, right? Well, we're in round 4.
Right now is where Jerry Forrest starting to take over a bit. Good punches on the inside, going after the ribs. Earl Newman Jr.
And then sometimes it's just mentally not cooperating. And right now it's like Newman has cooperated with the fact that Forrest wants to take over the fight from at least that mental perspective, and he's physically let him do it. You see now he's up against the ropes. You know, it's been Forrest trying to make the fight. Let's see here who gets off first in center ring. Let's see. Maybe nobody. A lot of waiting.
These are heavyweights.
They are heavyweights. They expend a nice counter right.
And that's why if you're Forrest, you can't wait. Because if you do wait, you give Earl a time to set and start getting that timing, which he was doing so well in the early part of the fight.
And Paulie, when he was walking in before, it was behind that jab. He kind of walked in naked, boom, got hit with the counter shot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, he threw that lazy jab. You know, once you keep Earl busy, he's not able to set the counter. But if you take 30 seconds between shots, Earl's going to be able to get that timing counter.
Oh my God! Wow. Collision of punches. Both
landed. I don't know who took the worst of it, but
one thing Forrest staying busier on the inside. Whenever they've been on inside positions, been Forrest throwing the punches.
Now we talk about the size difference, talk about the power of Newman. He's got 7 KOs in his 10 wins, but Jerry's got a heavyweight chin because he's been in with real heavyweights, real guys who can really punch.
As you have said many times on our air, no such thing as a heavyweight with a good chin. Big shot will drop you. 10 seconds left to go in round number 4. A lot of action in this 4th round. If we thought that Earl Newman Jr. was going away, that is not the case, gentlemen. There was a little worry at the end of round 3 that Newman might have been hurt. Showed well in round number 4 that he's still in it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's because Forrest kind of let him back into the round, into the fight. It was the early part of the round. I felt like Newman went backwards and let Forrest dictate. But at the midpoint of the round, Forrest started waiting between shots, and that allowed Newman to set up shots like that counter right hand, and so on and so forth.
One thing about Newman that we are definitely seeing, he was well trained for an orthodox versus southpaw fight. He's really sharp with the power shot coming in. He's really done well timing that shot throughout this fight.
Yeah, it's been a control of distance, you know, for Newman tonight. He's the taller, longer guy. Well, maybe not longer. He's actually got a shorter reach than Forrest, but he's a taller guy, and he's maintaining distance very well.
We're halfway through this fight, scheduled for 8 rounds. We begin round number 5. Who do you like so far, gentlemen? How's your scorecard looking?
I got Newman ahead. You know, the last round, 2 rounds ago was the round that I think you really could give to Forrest.
Yeah, I think it's 3-1 or 2-2. You could possibly make an argument for Forrest being the first part of the last round, but Newman finished it stronger, and a lot of times that's what judges are going to remember.
Anytime, gentlemen, you know it. Power punches from a heavyweight, sweat flying everywhere. Newman did land some of those punches last round. Very eye-catching
Still got a lot of fight left. You know, we're only halfway through now. We're just starting round 5.
It's not exactly a torrid pace either, so both of these guys are going to be able to handle this.
Now, neither one of you guys were monsters for your particular weight class. I know you guys fought in a couple of weight classes, but if you're Jerry Forrest, do you want a higher pace? You're 216 pounds. You're not the big guy in there. Do you want more volume? Do you want more pace? Because he hasn't really shown that so far, Paulie.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing when you got a 36-year-old heavyweight, right? I mean, is he capable of doing that? Is he hungry enough to do that? You know, a lot of times when you get to that age, you look to get through the rounds by being crafty or, you know, trying to old man your way through the rounds, as we used to call it. My friends in England like to say, you know.
But also, champ, you got to be forced to do that, and Newman's not forcing a pace on. Because I've seen Jerry where he was had his back against the wall and you know, like fights like a wildebeest, but he's not getting pushed in the fight either.
It's been Newman also doing a lot of weighting. I mean, Newman's a good counterpuncher, but you know, they would probably he's shown a good jab when he's decided to use it. It's just the last couple of rounds, you know, he's been less and less on the jab. And even now, you could see many options to throw it here, and he's not throwing it.
And right now, trying to stalk forward a bit, trying to make it a small ring. Launching with that power shot. He's thrown it with abandon throughout this fight. It's been his money punch, but Forrest gets inside. It's been effective.
You hear the corner of Newman telling him to shoot that right hand. They want him to get busy, and you know what? I don't blame them. You know, because he sees physically bigger. He's got the sharper offense when he decides to use it. You know, if he gets beat in this fight, it's because he's allowed Forrest to beat him.
He's allowed at times the smaller man and Jerry Forrest to walk forward and take space in the ring. Chris, we point this out a lot in a lot of different fights. Easiest thing to see for the judges is who is moving forward. Right now, fortunately, it is Newman. Ten seconds left to go in round number 5.
Nice triple jab there from Jerry Forrest.
Another nice jab.
We are back. You're looking at the corner of Jerry Forrest. Heavyweight, the smaller heavyweight in this fight, 216. Very, very experienced, but having a little trouble with a fighter, and Earl Newman Jr. is a little scrappier than a lot of people would have expected. Done well with the power shots, opposite stances in this fight. Newman so far has done well, but no one, as you talked about, Paulie, has really taken over the fight. No one's put their stamp on it yet.
And there's been chances. It's just it's almost like neither guy is really catered to. You know, there's sort of there's a bit of a silent contract here. We're like, okay, we're good at this pace. Let's not overdo it. You know, and anytime somebody threatens to actually take control of the fight, then they give it back by starting to wait again.
And the southpaw Forrest, his back is to you now, of course. That's why Earl Newman has been able to shoot that straight right hand. It's been a good counterpunch for him, but Forrest at the end of the last round using the jab, doubling, tripling it up. Now he's gotten inside, where he has been effective throughout this fight.
Again, this is when Forrest decides he wants to come forward, he wants to be first. Again, I think it's both of these guys. I mean, if whoever decides they want to win this fight can win this fight. Because anytime somebody actually pushes a little bit more, the other guy obliges and says, okay, you push more.
Yeah, but the issue here is that I believe Newman's ahead, and if he, like as you said last round, if he does lose this fight, it's because he gave it away. He has an opportunity to stay in the lead by just working a little harder.
And if Forrest loses this fight, it's because he never wanted to win it.
That's something I was talking about a lot in fights. When you discuss them, you go, well, it's about desire at 36 years old. You know, where do you want to be? Has it, Paulie, as you often say, has it been beaten out of you, or do you still want to win? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you don't want to win as badly. Like you're not willing to go through as much, you know? And it varies for everybody.
Both men really just pop shotting here.
Yeah, just the basics. Nobody's actually threatening to say, hey, you know what, I want to win this fight. It's almost like, however it goes, we're going to go at it here. And it's a bit of a sparring session, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Round 6 of 8.
I think fatigue's setting into with both these guys. Forrest not throwing with the same velocity that he had a few rounds ago. And Newman just not being as busy.
Often throughout this fight, Newman has played the counterpuncher, getting a little bit aggressive there.
There we go. Good work there from Newman. Was able to back Jerry Forrest against the ropes, let those hands go, land some good body shots, which is smart at this point.
A lot of frustration when you talk to Earl Newman Jr. about his career. This game started late, but had a decent amateur career.
A couple little uppercuts there by Forrest and on the inside in that exchange there. You saw a few times Newman's head pop up.
He's been derailed in the last few years and looking to get things back on track tonight.
Newman is very much on that front foot. I don't know if that's maybe because of the bad knee. A lot of times on that front foot leaning in. There's a chance for an uppercut if Forrest would throw it, but I'm not sure Forrest sees it from that middle range.
It looks like he's more on the front foot now than he was early on in the fight, right? He was more fighting off that back foot. You see that knee brace like you mentioned. Oh!
Another good right hand.
Yeah, Jerry Forrest, man, he's got a chin. That was a big shot.
Welcome back to ProBox TV alongside Zabella Entertainment. This is some of the action from the last round, gentlemen.
Bang, huge right hand over the top, catches Jerry Forrest as he's trying to counter him as well. Best shot of the round for either man. But Newman not that busy that round, but neither was Jerry. So a little bit of a slow round.
Well, it happened at the end, as we know. Judges tend to remember what they saw last. That might be crucial in a very, very close fight. The penultimate round, round 7 of 8.
I think these last 2 rounds are going to be really interesting. Fatigue setting in. Who's going to try and take the fight? Again, I think Newman's ahead, but not by a lot.
Southpaw and Jerry Forrest, the counter-punching orthodox fighter in Earl Newman Jr. And the counter-punching, that effective right hand. Oh. Another one right on cue.
And Champ, this is exactly what you were talking about. When he just does it, it's there.
It's a little frustrating to watch because when he pulls the trigger, it's there. That right hand has been money.
Yeah, when he gets away there again, you know, Forrest just a little slow in coming forward. Newman sees the shots, is able to step out of range. If he does get hit, it's on the end of it. The cleaner shot's starting landed by Newman. It's just the busier guy is Forrest.
A lot of it off that pawing lead jab. Very effective when he doubles and triples it. Fighter out of Newport News, Virginia. Has, as we said, taken on some of the best in the heavyweight division. Got a draw with Jay Li Zhang. That was in February 2021. It's a contender in the WBO. This would be a gigantic win for Earl Newman Jr. Start out in the light heavyweight division, trying to get his career on track at heavyweight after an up and down few years. Two things we always talk about: how do you do against the mid-level, the undefeated guys at about your level or better, and are you consistent?
And that's the thing, Jimmy, too. This will be a big win for Newman. You know, 10-3 record to beat a guy who's 27-6 and has a draw with Zhang. You know, it's even from a mental point, the confidence boost as well. Newman has ability. It's just it's almost like he's an enigma. He doesn't always put it fully together, but you can see there's talent there.
Flashes of greatness, especially with the right hand, but consistent output, even though it hasn't landed very flush, has been Jerry Forrest. So depends on what you want to see as a judge.
And Jerry Forrest is one of those guys, Top Rank used him as a gatekeeper for a very long time. One of those guys where if you can't get with this guy, we don't need you. You know, and not the kind of guy that Top Rank per se would sign, but they would use him time and time again to test their prospects on the way up. So, like as you said, Champ, getting past a guy like Jerry Forrest for Earl Newman Jr. is a big deal.
By the way, no tougher place to be in combat sports than the gatekeeper. You know, you tough? All right, get past our guy. Being that guy is not easy, so Jerry Forrest certainly battle-tested at least. Seventh round coming to a close. As you said, these last 2 rounds, Chris, crucial. Only one more left to go.
Well, I thought Earl had a really good round that round. He came out, asserted himself early on, and pretty much domesticated Forrest for the rest of that round. I think that was a very smart move on Earl Newman Jr.'s part to take that 7th round the way he did.
Last round, once again, that seems to mean more to Earl Newman Jr. and his career. As you said, Paul, you know, that 10-3-1 to knock off a veteran guy would be huge. 6'3", so it's not like he's short for the heavyweight division. He can beat some decent guys.
Yeah. It's just, again, at 33 years old, he just has to get consistent and going. If you're gonna give it one shot, you gotta give it full throttle. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a sort of a side hustle for him. And a side hustle that he's pretty good at, he just never commits to it.
Boxing, gentlemen, is a terrible hobby. You know that well. It's either your job or it's not. Last round as they touch gloves. It is Jerry Forrest on the left in the red and black. Earl Newman Jr. red and black as well. His name on the front. A much bigger heavyweight, Earl Newman Jr. Only try to land those power punches in round number 8. More than likely a close fight on the judges' scorecards. Do you favor the power of Newman Jr.? Do you favor the activity of Jerry Forrest? That is the question.
And Forrest doesn't have the same snap he had earlier in this fight. He's pushing his punches now. And I mentioned that he was in good shape, the lightest I've seen him, the leanest I've seen him. That's not always good for a heavyweight. A lot of times guys will weaken themselves trying to get down and weight, trying to get lean, trying to get aesthetic, you know, in terms of the way they look, but it doesn't help them.
Bodies don't win fights, you know that very, very well.
Tyson Fury says it all the time. He's like, when you're a heavyweight, stay fat, he would say.
The dad bod is in.
Yep. It works at heavyweight.
Right now, Forrest the busier man in this final round.
Yeah, he's putting those punches together. It seems like Newman feels he's ahead. Not really going for it here in round 8.
Gentlemen, an 8-round fight, that's not a good bet to make.
No.
Yeah.
Especially in these kind of rounds. I think Newman's ahead, but I wouldn't be taking rounds off.
Wouldn't bet your life on it.
Especially with a guy who's not cracking like he was or could. You know, so obviously you can take a shot.
Body shot there by Newman. He's been, one of the things he did well in this fight is also target the gut with that straight right hand.
Yeah. Been a good stiff shot all night long. Started at round 1. Yeah, you see, Forrest just kind of keep him off him at this point. Touch him with those hands, doesn't have any snap on those punches.
Pitter-pat punches. Fighter from Newport News, Virginia. Looks like Newman Jr. just trying to maybe find a way in, land one right hand. He's been pot-shotting throughout this fight, not a lot of combinations. He's been content to be the one-and-done kind of fighter. I don't mean knockouts. It means he's had one big shot, and that's been it kind of in each round. It's been Forrest with combinations like this, nothing huge. Certainly staying busy that may have won him rounds, and if he wins, it's won him the fight. 10 seconds left to go in the final round of our opening heavyweight fight.
Good uppercut there.
Good shot from Forrest.
Good round from Forrest this round.
Yeah.
Question, gentlemen, is was it enough to get the decision? Finishing strong in round number 8, but Chris, you had Newman Jr. ahead.
Yeah, best round of the fight for Forrest was that 8th round, but I still got Newman winning that fight. I thought that he did enough, controlled the space enough, showed his class enough, and just Forrest just wasn't effective in enough of those rounds to clinch a victory.
Newman Jr. still certainly looking surprisingly good for big 252, 6'3", weighed in very, very heavy, but still looked good, looked decently mobile. Gas held up comparatively well.
Yeah.
A little surprised tonight, Paulie?
No, again, with Newman, you feel like he's got the talent to do more. So you look at him, and sometimes you're kind of disappointed in him. He may even win tonight, and it'll be a good win for him. But you see that there's a technique and some solid fundamentals there, and a good sense of timing there where he can do well. But definitely got outworked in the last round, as you saw here in the replay by Jerry Forrest.
That pace wasn't breaking records.
No.
So the fact that he made it to the end isn't that amazing.
Now the question is, was it enough? That strong finish in round number 8 for Jerry Forrest. This is our opening fight of the night here on ProBox TV. More to come, a women's IBF World Championship on the line in our main event. As you said, Chris, wasn't exactly a sprint, the pace these guys were setting tonight.
No, and again, in slow paces, it can make for interesting scorecards. Like, what do you like? Single shots can sway rounds in either direction. And I think, Champ, you said it perfectly. Whoever loses this fight is really going to kick themselves in the butt for not doing enough.
Winnable for both.
Yes.
Gentlemen seen Unforgiven? Western Unforgiven? Of course. Guy had one arm, loading 6 guns. What do you have 6 guns? Got one arm. I ain't getting killed for lack of shooting back. Better to have too many guns
Too little.
than too few. And it's the same thing. I'm not getting killed for lack of shooting back. I'm not going to lose. I didn't throw enough punches. Whoever loses tonight, they didn't shoot back again.
Yeah. Well put.
Both can be blamed for that.
Yeah. Forrest certainly looking confident. See if that confidence is justified. The judges agree.
I mean, coming into his opponent's backyard, I don't know how. It's tough to be that confident.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judges Jory Gernald scores it at 78-74, Frank Lombardi scores it 79-73, and Anthony Lundy scores it 78-74. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Jerry Slugger Forrest.
Not just a win, but unanimous decision.
And not even that close.
Not even close, gentlemen.
I guess they like the activity.
Yeah, I like the activity.
Man, we talk about all these judges who like when guys come forward.
Where were these judges when I fought Broner?
Yeah.
Same commission, too.
Or when I fought Amir Khan. I didn't take a step back all night long.
There you go. The guy walking forward, although he didn't do a ton of damage, gets the win.
They like the activity over here, man. What's going on?
I thought Earl Newman boxed.
Yeah, I thought he had
nice.
the more quality. I thought Newman had the more quality, but
he landed power, he landed clean, but moves like this, kind of the activity of always being.
no, there were certainly a couple of rounds at least where, 2-3 rounds where, there was, Jerry easily had the more, impactful and just carried the pace, but there was a lot of times where there was too much time in between, and Newman commanded those moments. He was the better boxer, the better technician in those moments.
Ring generalship is out of the question now for judging. That doesn't even matter.
No.
It doesn't matter who controls the space anymore. It's just who's coming forward, apparently. That's why I'm not a judge, I guess.
Well, let's see how the rest of the night goes. Remember, that's our opening heavyweight bout. Let's see what the judges think later on. Women's world title fight. It's our main event tonight. No, we're good. Very athletic backflip.
That's impressive.
From a lean Jerry Forrest, 216 pounds, hitting a backflip.
Heavyweight hitting a backflip with 8 rounds. That's impressive.
Hey, Jerry, we're here with the winner, Jerry Forrest. First time in the ring in over a year. Got the unanimous decision, stuck the backflip. How did it feel to get back in there?
First of all, I just want to say I stuck the backflip, but the Bella is right there. I'm not going to hurt myself, so that's why I landed on all fours. I'm just putting that out there. But, no, I was ready. 2-year layoff, pretty much. Had a warm-up bout last year. This was another good bout. We wanted to see where I was. So I'm feeling confident.
Take us through the fight. The first round, you were pumping that jab. Things got a little hairy in those in-between rounds. Newman's a very tough opponent, but you ended the fight like you started the fight by pumping that jab, which I thought was very impressive.
So I had a little ailment, right? I busted my knuckle before the fight, so I couldn't throw my left. So with me having my left torn rotator, my right torn rotator cuff before, I was being cautious, honestly. This was being like my real second time being in the ring. I'm feeling 100%. If it makes sense, I didn't want to tear nothing. So even though I feel good and I felt great, still mentally I'm like, don't tear nothing. Just came off injury, be smart. And I think that had a little bit of edge to do with my work.
So you got the win, and you told us that you want to get back in there with some of the bigger names. You've shared the ring with some of the biggest names in the heavyweight division. Do you feel like this was the first step to getting back in there with some of the best names in the heavyweight division?
Oh, definitely. I mean, if you know who I am, if you've seen my fights, I beat everybody that they say I lost to pretty much. So, I mean, I'm ready to get back in there, maybe one more tune-up fight, get some more good sparring. I'm back in the gym on Monday and just grinding again for real. Like, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm motivated, so I'm here.
Great performance. Back to you, Justin.
And that was your winner, Jerry Forrest. What do you think of, obviously, the comments about didn't want to get injured, didn't want to get hurt, also didn't want to get hurt doing the backflip. It looked good. More to come here on ProBox TV. Don't go anywhere.
ProBox TV Contender Series. November 1st, ProBox TV makes its European debut in collaboration with Conlan Boxing. Padraig the Hammer McCrory returning to the ring to take on the hard-hitting Colombian Leonard Carrillo. And in the co-main, the UK's Robbie Davies Jr. clashes with former two-weight world champ Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic. Live from the SSE Arena in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
That is our main event of the evening. MIYO YOSHIDA 17-4 versus SHURRETTA METCALF 13-4-1. IBF world title on the line. Of course, a rematch that was won by SHURRETTA METCALF, although YOSHIDA now the champion, and METCALF looking for a championship, but not redemption because she won last time. But it looks like an interesting one for the IBF title. Chris, what was your thought about the performance after the interview by Jerry Forrest saying, well, I had torn stuff, I was hurt, so I didn't want to re-tear it, I didn't want to re-injure anything. That's why I didn't punch as much. Is that an age thing catching up with you?
Yeah, I mean, that's a 36-year-old answer if I ever heard one. But, I mean, he was very confident at the end of the fight, so he felt like he had done enough. And obviously he did. The judges liked what he was doing, but in terms of him, fighting the way that he fought based on injuries, I mean, I don't know how his body is, but it is what it is, 36.
I mean, some of it made sense in terms of when he said, okay, I don't want to get off the block and just risk tearing something. He was talking about how he had torn a rotator cuff on his right side and passed, and then he'd also coming into the fight with a hurt left knuckle, right? So he didn't want to overdo it early on, and that's what the sense we got. Remember, in the first two rounds, we felt like Newman was easily winning the first two rounds. Then, we felt like the third round, what's his name, Jerry Forrest got going. But I don't know. I never felt he got going to the point where he won the fight.
This was one of those get the win, look good next time, I guess. Yeah. But also I don't know why you're telling everybody that you go to these injuries because you got to fight again soon. So.
It's usually after the loss you complain your body was absolutely right. After a win, everything was fine because
one thing I'll say is he expects more of himself, and that's kind of good. You know, where he's like, oh, you know what? Listen, I did this and this because I had these injuries, but I want to get back in the mix a little bit. So from that perspective, can he do that at 36? Because I got news for him. I've been that age too. The injuries are more common.
Doesn't get better
as you get older.
It never gets easier. But two men a bit younger, 29 and 33, a showdown of Texas. That's right, Kenneth Taylor saying everybody knows Edward Vasquez. Everyone knows how good he is. A lot of people think he should be IBF champion. Very, very close fight. Last time he lost in, that was against Joe Cordina. That was a fight in Monte Carlo. Fight that he barely lost. looking for redemption to get back to that world champ status.
Here we go, fight fans. DeBella Entertainment presents 10 rounds for the IBF USBA Junior Lightweight Championship. This fight is brought to you by Gesture. Gesture wants to give you $100 for just being here. Scan the QR codes on the screen to your left or right. Download the app, sign up. Your location must be on for this $100 offer. And also Thundercat, a service-disabled, veteran-owned information technology provider. Your judges for this fight, Mark Constantino, John McKay, and Kevin Morgan. And now, introducing, fighting out of the blue corner on my left, wearing the black and silver. He weighed in at an even 129 pounds. His record, 14 victories, 3 defeats, 2 draws, and 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Tyler, Texas. Introducing the problem child, Kenneth Taylor. And now, his opponent across the ring wearing the white, red, and blue. He weighed in at an even and ready 130 pounds. His record, 16 victories versus 2 defeats, 3 wins by knockout. Fighting out of Fort Worth, Texas, he is the world-rated former IBF Intercontinental Featherweight Champion, presenting Edward the Kid Vasquez. When the action begins, your referee is Harvey Dock.
All right, boxers, you received your instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Now, Chris, you said it before the show. You said, look at this kid, Edward Vasquez. You said most talented guy on the card. We'll see if he lives up to that hype. He is ready for round number 1. We are underway.
So prior to the Joe Cordina fight, which is highly controversial, fighting for the title,
very close.
He lost a split decision, very controversial fight, to Raymond Ford. I called that fight on the undercard of a matchroom card. A lot of people thought Edward Vasquez won that fight. Raymond Ford won a world title not too long ago. Very, very talented fighter. So this kid is class.
How frustrating is that? You look at Vasquez, of course, in the white, red, and blue. Taylor in the black and silver. Paulie, what does it do for your confidence? How frustrating is it to be that close to those world championship guys?
Yeah, it can be very frustrating, but at the same time, you have to focus on, the fact that you showed your class and you show that you belong in there. Ford went on to become world champion. Cordina, it could be said, champion, yeah. It was champion, but it could be said that, he should have lost the title to Vasquez if Vasquez has just a little bit more luck that night. So you certainly realize you're on that level because you've been on that championship level. So, but at the same time, to get up for this kind of fight, sometimes it's going to be tricky.
Well, listen, we had Chris Colbert last week, another guy who lost only 2 losses to a world-class guys, comes on ProBox TV air, gets stopped.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you got to stay motivated even when you come back down to this level. That's the frustrating part. You're on a higher level. Now you got to get motivated to fight at this level. Taylor's a pretty good fighter himself.
Right,
good counter right hand there by Vasquez.
That's the second overhand right, timed beautifully by Vasquez this round. Taylor's been taking them well, but can't take too many of those.
He can be a very tough fighter. Can take a little while to warm up, but once he does, good with the right hand, excellent inside fighter.
2 Texans meeting in New York to fight. Boxing's so strange, right?
Vasquez says, everybody knows me in Texas. I'm the man in Texas.
Both guys, like, oh, we live in Texas. I just fight in Texas. No, let's both travel to New York to fight.
And pay taxes.
And pay New York taxes to fight. You're a Texas fighder. Not always an easy thing to do.
Good body work from Vasquez on the inside there, climbing up the body.
You see he has that boss mentality. He looks to make the fight. Looks like he continuously walk down his man, but also, take away the position. Keep Taylor moving around.
Kenneth Taylor, a good outside boxer, has good speed on the outside, but in previous fights, if you watch tape on him, he can get drawn into that inside battle and lose rounds that way.
Yeah, it's what he's trying to do here. He's throwing those pot shots, but he's going to have to throw some forceful shots in order to discourage the pressure of Vasquez. Otherwise, he's going to eventually wind up at the range where he doesn't want to fight.
You got to watch Taylor. He's got a very dangerous tell. My first kickboxing coach actually used to call it the locomotion. He'll roll his gloves over. He'll roll, he'll roll, he'll roll. You can time that, and you've seen that's why Vasquez has been able to land that overhand right the way he has. You can just time that movement because it takes your hands out of position as you roll them over.
Ten seconds left to go in round number one. We see who prefers which real estate. Vasquez trying to get inside Taylor, trying to keep him at a distance. In between rounds 1 and 2, you're in the corner of Edward Vasquez. Nickname is Kid 16 and 2. So a lot of action from the opening round. Good overhand right.
Perfectly timed. Didn't look like it landed that clean. I think there was another one in the round that was cleaner.
Into the corner of Kenneth Taylor. And ready for round number 2. Gentlemen, I think we decided what kind of fight this is going to be. Vasquez looking for the inside. Taylor trying to keep him on the outside. But Paulie, you said it. Got to do more than pot shot. Got to give a tough fighter a reason to back off.
If you're going to be on the outside against a pressure fighter, the key is to be first. Keep it on the outside, but be first. That way, his pressure becomes more of a workman. It creates more of a need to have more effort. You know, because just pressuring you isn't going to work. You know, a lot of times, if the pressure fighter ends up being the guy who ends up getting off first, he's going to overwhelm you.
Round number 2. And Taylor on your right. Black and silver. Edward Vasquez, red, white, and blue. Both fighters from Texas. Vasquez from Fort Worth. Taylor fighting out of Tyler, Texas. Talk to us about the work he did getting ready for this fight. He's had some brutal sparring sessions. I am ready to go.
Great sparring in Texas, man. Both these guys, I'm sure, get excellent work, being in fantastic condition tonight. You know who Vasquez reminds me of a little bit? A orthodox version, Paulie Ayala. Yeah. Not a big puncher, but he comes forward. He fights like a puncher.
Makes it uncomfortable.
Makes it uncomfortable, puts pressure on you.
And bosses the fight.
And bosses you, even though he's not a puncher.
Yeah, 16 wins, only 3 knockouts for Edward Vasquez. Kenneth Taylor, 14 wins, 6 by knockouts. Neither guy knockout punchers. It's going to be a theme tonight. When people say, oh, he's not a knockout puncher. Guys, getting punched hurts. No matter if it knocks you out or not, it still hurts. You don't want to walk through.
But he's a physically strong guy. He's not a puncher. He's not a power puncher, but he's physically strong.
Notice the position game too. Even when Taylor throws shots, you see Vasquez doesn't bust position, stays on that pressure moment. So he creates more panic on the part of Taylor. You see Taylor getting off some shots there, but Vasquez not giving any ground.
Taylor doing a good job with his steps and his side movements, lateral positioning to try and create some space and some breathing room because Vasquez is putting on a ton of pressure.
But you gotta at least mix in the pot shots with some shots you step into, and then mix all that in with feints and level changes and so on and so forth. Just things that throw off the intensity of the pressure.
Oh, good body shot.
You didn't see the Joe Cordina fight. Cordina started off really ripping some big punches as Edward Vasquez. What did Vasquez do? Hands up, chin down, kept walking.
If you're not deceptive enough, the guy will just keep walking you down with his hands up. You know?
Cordina looked great first couple rounds.
And lesser intelligent boxing fans and pundits will say, oh, he wasn't strong enough. It's not that the guy wasn't strong enough. It's that he's not deceptive enough. Even if you don't have big punching power, if you're deceptive enough, you can beat pressure guys.
Vasquez really picking his punches very nicely. Short, doesn't load up, finds those holes. Pretty accurate for a guy who's coming forward and throwing so many shots.
Always coming back to his fundamentals. Chris, whatever the opposite of a cutie is, that's what Vasquez is.
No, he ain't cute.
He's just hands up, chin down, basics.
He's a smash and grab job.
He doesn't crack the save. He just blows the door right off of it. Hits it with a hammer until it falls over.
Yeah, if anything, Taylor has a little bit of that cutie style with shoulder rolls and pot shots, but again, it can't be all show. Some of that you got to step into.
So far, no big punches from Taylor as we end round number 2. In between rounds 2 and 3, Edward Vasquez doing the same thing as round number 1. Able to walk down, hands up. Put physical pressure on Kenneth Taylor. Taylor doing a good job working from the outside, but if you expect Edward Vasquez to wear down, man does not do that. The corner of Edward Vasquez. this was some of the action from round number 2.
Yeah, I thought Vasquez picked up right where he left off in round number 1. He built on the pressure and the punches that he was landing in that last round. Excellent round, picking his spots beautifully, landing some really nice shots as he was able to back Taylor up.
In the fight, we hear from Lou DiBella. This fight tonight brought to you by ProBox TV and DiBella Entertainment. Round number 3 scheduled for 10. And Paulie, you were a volume guy. You were a gas guy. It's one of those things you expect Vasquez to wear out. It's not going to happen. This is how this guy fights.
Yeah, and he's a pressure, volume guy. He's with me it was more jabbing and being on the outside and dictating. So I feel like it's a tougher style to accomplish here if you don't have big punching power and you're a pressure guy. But what it does is it takes away the will, little by little, of a guy who can't stop you from coming forward.
Yeah, Paulie wasn't a volume guy. Paulie was very sharp jabber, mover.
Yeah.
He was a stylist. I was a volume guy. I would throw upwards of 100 punches around.
But both of you guys, you talked about if you knock somebody out, you need a lot of gas. Both of you talked about that. Vasquez definitely cut from that mold. Yes,
well, going the distance in general, I think when you get used to going at distance, psychologically you're comfortable with it, but also psychologically you approach fights differently. You approach fights over the course of a long night, make sure you get every round and work as much as you can, or at least work as intelligently as you can.
I was a sharpshooter starting out, and then I just didn't trust that the judges were going to give me rounds. So then I became a volume puncher. So I was coming forward and I was throwing a lot of punches. How are you going to give it to the other guy?
And they still found a way to do it.
And they still found a way to do it.
So you find out it's not really what you do, it's who you sign to.
Yeah.
That is a lot of it. Taylor right now working from the outside. Paul, you talked earlier about his movement. You do like things about his footwork and about his movement. It just hasn't come with that accurate
with Taylor. Yeah, I just think, he's doing a worse and worse job of getting off first. It's now, and what happens is you allow the pressure guy to have more confidence because now he realizes the pressure's working. So the less you can frustrate the pressure guy, the less you can have success as a pressure guy, the more pressure you're going to see because the pressure guy then starts to believe in himself more and more. And that's what's happening here with Vasquez. He's increasing the intensity of the pressure because he realizes it's bothering Taylor because Taylor is becoming less and less effective against it.
It seems like Taylor is conserving his punches to go to his legs so he can move more. He's not punching him anymore. He's not punching as much so he can save it for moving.
Yeah, and he lands here and there, but again, it's no weight on it, and there's no pot shot, there's no combinations there. At times you got to sit in there and throw a good combination to give a guy like Vasquez something to think about. And none of that is coming.
He's not getting any respect.
Going into what we call flight a lot of times. I mean, one of my trainers used to call that, you go into flight where you're just doing more moving than punching, and when you're punching, you're not going to be able to get anything on it because you're already halfway in flight as you're throwing those shots.
Vasquez landed 3 really nice left hands, 2 left hooks and a hard jab that snapped the head back of Taylor.
Vasquez is a guy who, whether he's short or not, he fights short, right? Takes away his height.
Small target, very
small target. Hasn't given Taylor a lot of offensive options. So far, able to lead the dance through 3 rounds so far. Constant physical pressure from the fighter from Fort Worth, Texas.
I knew we were going to get a lot more action in this fight than the heavyweight fight. These guys are throwing, especially Vasquez.
The question is, can Kenneth Taylor, the problem child, solve the problem that has been Edward Vasquez so far? Gentlemen, this is more checkers than chess we're seeing right now. This guy, Vasquez isn't coming in with anything brilliant. It's just physical pressure, hands up, small target, throwing tight punches, very concise, not giving his opponent a lot of targets. Chris, what do you do against that guy? How do you make the target when your opponent isn't giving you?
I mean, you got to use the stick. You've got plenty of opportunities. The guy comes. Vasquez is not deceptive in the way he closes.
Not at all.
Not at all. You can stick a jab in his face and take a half step back and line him up for a right hand or an uppercut, especially an uppercut because he's so forward up that front foot. But it just doesn't seem like Taylor has the mindset to do that. He's thinking so much about keeping him off him rather than trying to do some damage.
I hear Teddy Atlas's voice in my head saying, hey, close your eyes and hit him. That kind of guy. Vasquez, you know where he's going to be.
But this distance, your range, like Taylor should be firing.
He should be
right there. Boom. He should be firing.
But he's too much movement. Because even when you use the jab, you got to sit on it a little bit, so there's more snap on it.
guy's got a 2-inch deficit in reach, and you're allowing him to walk in the front door. Taylor just too much of a counter mindset.
Yeah, and it's almost, possibly does a lot of sparring with, maybe good fighters. It's a bit of a sparring partner mentality too, where you're content to make the guy maybe look bad, but you're not willing to sit in.
He's not doing that tonight either.
Yes, you're not willing to sit in and actually try to win the fight if it takes requires a little bit more effort.
Neither one of these guys big punchers.
As you said, Vasquez only 3 knockouts and 16 wins.
You can just see it in the way they throw their hands. It's just not heavy-handed guys.
But at least you see Vasquez throwing combinations, putting punches together. There's not a lot of combinations on the part of Taylor. And when he does, it's on his back foot. It's not really sitting on anything.
He hasn't landed many clean shots either. As Taylor. Vasquez landed a ton.
Clearly not comfortable with the range at which this fight has been fought. Close to the chest, which favors Vasquez.
Vasquez is just a guy who just makes it uncomfortable for you. At every step of every round, every minute of every round, he's making it uncomfortable. He's in your grill, he's in your face, he's slapping you with left hooks, he's banging you with body shots. Gets his head offline really nice, actually, when he throws his right hands.
To Paulie's point, we're seeing Taylor a lot of get off me punches, not sitting down trying to hurt somebody.
Yeah, and you see the position of Vasquez sitting in a position where he can put punches together. He's balanced and he's planted more. We're getting our first hit from Taylor. So he's too much weight. He's allowed Vasquez to walk in, and he lands a good left hook there in that combination. So not all the shots get in there from Vasquez, but when you're able to throw 5, 6, 7, and some of them get off.
2 are going to get in.
And get in. And again, it's Taylor again not getting off him even in between. You got to do at least some catching and shooting there. And Vasquez give you the opportunity to catch and shoot because there is daylight between his shots. So there's opportunities to catch and shoot, counter Vasquez, but Taylor doesn't do it.
And even if none of those punches do land, you're still winning the round. Yeah, the guy's not throwing anything back.
November 9th, Nicholas Flas, Christian Gomez, the always entertaining Saracho, and the return of Joe Diaz, not just as a fighter, not just as a boxer, but as a human being, overcoming addiction to get back in the ring. That story, all around, gentlemen, is highlight worthy. For regardless of what happens in the ring, the fact that Jojo Diaz is returning November 9th is a great story, Chris.
Oh, it's a fantastic story. He's a great guy, former champion, excellent fighter. I keep saying it time and time again, the boxing world is happy that he's back. That's a great card, though. Really looking forward to that whole card, top to bottom.
Every fight entertaining. It's going to be absolutely unbelievable November 9th. In Florida, get your tickets now. Download the ProBox TV app. Never fall behind in your boxing news and these great boxing events. This one, ProBox with DeBella Entertainment from Madison Square Garden.
What's going on there?
Have they stopped it?
Maybe quit in the corner. Vasquez is saying that's it.
Unbelievable. It has been stopped.
Well, there wasn't a lot of desire to fight. He quit in the corner.
That's what we're hearing.
And Vasquez, I've never seen someone so dissatisfied with someone.
Pissed off with a win.
With a TKO victory.
He's like, I didn't get enough work tonight, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to get in there and work. Again, like, remember what I said about a guy who's not a big puncher? In your mind, you have a night's work.
Right.
You have 12 runs at
So he didn't get a whole night's work in front of you. He's like, yo, man, they cut my work short tonight.
You get paid either way, buddy. You're good.
Oh, he's probably telling him he quit.
Yeah, but Kenneth Taylor didn't eat a ton of big punches. Never seen
Now they're still talking now.
Never seen wobble. I'm sure the words from Edward Vasquez not complimentary.
Yeah, there's not a lot of probably not a lot of respect there because he wanted to work more. But hey, man, you got your win. Now you go on to better opponents.
Get a stoppage too.
That will try to win the fight. Obviously, we've seen Vasquez at the highest level already. We've seen him in championship fights and with guys that won titles.
Listen, I don't dislike that mentality.
No,
I like this kid.
Yeah. Because he's not doing it against the guys who are like just kitchen workers. Taylor was decent. He just didn't want it anymore. He didn't want to deal with the pressure anymore. And we already know that Vasquez is of the level that he wants to go to a higher level. He wants to fight at championship level. He's not going to look to avoid those tough fights.
There's the stoppage. corner waving it off. Her and Kenneth Taylor just didn't want any more.
I would love to hear about what happened in that corner.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see an injury. We didn't see any problems.
But you can see in his body language he didn't want to fight.
Yeah.
You know, like he wasn't sitting on anything. He wasn't taking any risks.
He stopped trying to win 2 rounds.
Yeah, it was getting to the point where you were going to have to show that you were willing to take risks if you wanted to win this fight, and he never really showed that.
I have to say it surprises me, gentlemen, because Vasquez, Chris, we were talking about his talents before the fight. We thought he was the most talented guy on the card. This is how the guy fights.
Yeah,
I don't know how you can walk in and go, oh my God, I didn't expect this. I mean, Vasquez fought like Vasquez fights, and had no answer for it.
Maybe he looked at the record and said three KOs. This guy can't punch, and he hit harder than he expected. You know, you hit with those shots enough. He was landing very clean punches tonight. So you get rattled with a few of those. You're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to take this for 10 rounds.
The world needs plenty of bartenders, right, gentlemen? But Vasquez can't take anything away from him. And Paulie, how do you feel about what Chris said? I like this kid's attitude. He wanted more smoke.
Yeah.
He wanted more smoke.
He's a competitive guy. He wants to get back to where he feels he belongs, which is a championship level. And tonight, you know what? He showed that he's superior to this level. Bring me back on championship shows. That's, you know, really, that's all he needed to show tonight. And I don't mind that he wanted more smoke and whatnot, but he made his point tonight. Listen, do not put me in with this level. I deserve to be at a higher level, at the championship level. I've been there. I showed you I belong there. Don't make me fight at this level again. And you know what? I agree with him. He showed that he's not just talking.
After 4 rounds, the blue corner has stopped the contest for your winner by TKO and new IBF USPA Junior Lightweight Champion, Edward the Kid Vasquez.
You saw tonight, it's a tough out for anybody in this weight class. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
he's in your grill.
Listen, we're going to see him at the championship level again. I'm looking forward to it. He is exciting. He does some nice, classy stuff in there. It looks like he's just banging in the front door, but you know, he gets his head offline. I was talking about that all night long. Does that beautifully. Didn't get hit a whole lot either. Obviously, guys not throwing a lot of punches back at him, but you know, he's been in with world-class guys who are really offensive. Joe Cordina is a great offensive fighter, and he was able to get in there as well. So I'm curious to see what he can do, you know, back at the world-class level.
Good timing, good accuracy on his short punches. A lot of guys on the inside banging away at the elbows. This guy had good timing, good accuracy on his inside punches. Disappointed, of course, his opponent quit early in the fight. Disappointing night for Edward Vasquez, but he gets a win. You see the frustration on his face there when the fight was called. Still the king of Texas. We'll hear from him now in the ring.
All right, we're here with the winner, Edward Vasquez. He came all the way here from Texas. I'm not sure that's how you wanted the fight to end. You looked great while it lasted. Take us through it.
Yeah, you know, it was a systematic breakdown. You know, I was listening to my coach. We wanted to start low, break him down early to the body, kind of slow him down, work in behind our jab, close the distance. And right as soon as I started to get into my groove and into where we wanted the fight to get to, you know, he just kind of gave in and, you know, didn't come out for the next round. But, you know, I just want to give a special shout out to all the veterans out here tonight. I appreciate you guys showing up, you know, coming out, spending your time with us, watching a good show. I wish my opponent had the heart of these veterans, man. He would have came out and finished the fight, but it is the way it is. It is what it is, you know. And you know, I just once again, you know, I appreciate everyone, the veterans, all the fans, all my people that came out from Texas. I appreciate all you guys. Much love to all you.
You shared some words with Taylor after the fight in your corner. What'd you say to him?
You know, I just told him, hey, man, like, I work really hard for this, man. I don't take any fight light. I take every fight like it's, you know, life or death situation. And I work really hard. I sacrifice a lot for this. So for him to, you know, I know I broke him down, but I feel like he had more in him. So for him to be able, or for him to, you know, kind of throw the fight away like that, it's not a waste of time, but as someone who works hard for what they got and for what they're working for, you know, I just wanted a tough battle, and I wanted to be able to get what I work for out of me.
Well, you got to win. You're back into the win column. You're highly ranked with the IBF in multiple divisions. If there are opportunities at 126, or you want to stay at 130?
Oh man, either one. 126, 130. Obviously 126 if I have a little bit more time to get ready. 130, I'm on a 4-week notice. Give me a call, baby. I'm here.
There it is. Let's bring in Lou DiBella. Lou, great performance here from Mr. Vasquez.
He's a great little fighter. And anybody who's followed his career knows he should have been a champion already. He went to England, he beat Joe Cordina, he got robbed. There's another reigning champion that I thought he beat decisively before they were both champions, and he got robbed. Well, he's going to get another shot, and that time he won't get robbed.
I love that. What can you tell us about Broadway boxing coming back here to New York City, where it belongs in the historic theater at the Garden?
Tonight I'm more like focused on the fact why we're back here, why we're at the Garden. We're at the Garden because our veterans deserve our gratitude, our attention. They deserve a night like this, and it's my pleasure every year now to make this with my partners and friends and sponsors an annual event, because our veterans deserve the recognition they too often don't get.
Thank you for those words, Lou, and thank you for everyone that's come out tonight. More boxing coming up next.
That's right, the Bella Entertainment alongside ProBox TV bringing us night of fights from New York, Madison Square Garden.
Hey, I just want to say one other thing. My name's Jeff McMillan, Morgan Stanley. I want to thank our...
And there is our main event. MIYO YOSHIDA, IBF champion, defending her title tonight against the fighter who beat her last time, SHURRETTA METCALF. Rematching a main event. She said she has SHURRETTA METCALF says that Yoshida has ducked me. Tonight is going to be my night. We'll see in the main event, but more fights to come when we come back.
Contender Series, November 1st. ProBox TV makes its European debut in collaboration with CONTINENTAL Boxing. Padraig the Hammer McCrory returning to the ring to take on the hard-hitting Colombian Leonard Carrillo. And in the co-main, the UK's Robbie Davies Jr. clashes with former two-weight world champ Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic. Live from the SSE Arena in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Welcome back inside ProBox TV studios. Jimmy Smith alongside the champs, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algier. We got our passports ready to go to Ireland. Chris, you know I don't drink. You said I'm going out with you anyway. We're hitting the town in Belfast.
Yeah, I got to make sure anyone comes up behind me, you can get him with that
Put him
BJJ
right down.
skill that you got. So, yeah, we will be in Belfast,
You start
Ireland.
the fights, I'll finish it.
I ain't starting no fights. But we're headed out to Belfast, Ireland. We're all very excited. We got our passports ready. ProBox TV is going on the road.
Yeah, Paulie, that Irish crowd, man, absolutely. I've called fights in Ireland before. That Irish crowd blows your mind. How excited are you about that?
Yeah, you know, the UK in general, you know, Northern Ireland, Belfast, you know, a lot of intense fans there. They're going to be looking forward to watching a great show we're going to put on.
One quote I heard from Boss Rutten, great fighter, said, when a fighter says, I wanted to fight more, they are lying. They wanted to get out unhurt and get out quickly. Vasquez really wanted more fight. It's a one-time. I don't think it was a lie. The November 9th card, of course, the return of Jojo Diaz. We talk a lot about the comeback story, right? Overcoming addiction, overcoming his family problems. Getting back into the ring is the first step. But tactically, Paulie, what do you expect from him? Ring rust is a real thing. Tactically, beyond the story, what do you expect from him in the ring when he comes back?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be able to, you know, see what's missing and what's not, get back into the mix a little bit. He's having a training camp now. You know, he's sort of getting his mind right. The original opponent, Nicholas Walters, fell out, which is a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. You know, you can work on some things and try to, you know, get things right. Southpaw stance, obviously. We already know Jojo, you know, former Olympian, former world champion. There is a lot there, and he's not too old to show it at world-class level if he's hungry. I guess all of this comes into play now where we'll see inside the ring what's there.
Yeah, it's been a great story and hopefully a great fight. Now, coming up, that's right, our tale of the tape. A tale of the tape, KACZMARKIEWICZ from Poland versus KAINELL Wheeler from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. You see the reach advantage for Wheeler. Wheeler a bit older, but also a bit taller. Can he turn those physical advantages into yet another knockout? Where he has won 6 of 7 by knockout. And talk to him about this fight because, you know my advantage? My power. There's a fighter from Poland. Incredibly talented KACZMARKIEWICZ. 7-1-1, but only 3 knockouts. Allowed his boxing tonight to try to stay on the
Ladies and
outside.
gentlemen, this fight is brought to you by Fact Set. and Apollo Global Management. Dobella Entertainment presents 6 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Your judges for this contest, Mark Constantino, Giorgio Gergov, and John McKay. And now, introducing, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trimmed in white. He weighed in at 174 pounds. His record, 7 victories, 5 defeats, 6 wins, coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, introducing KAINELL Wheeler. And now, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Tonight, he wears the black trunks. He also weighed in at 174 pounds. His record, 7 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw, 3 wins, coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Gdynia, Poland, presenting KONRAD Ernie KACZMARKIEWICZ. And when the bell rings, the third man in the ring is Eric Daly.
Okay, gentlemen, you already know the rules. Let me remind you to keep it clean, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
KACZMARKIEWICZ, you see, from Poland. 7-1-1. Facing a fighter. Chris, you were talking about it before we were on air. When it comes to KAINELL Wheeler, he said he may have an upside-down record. This guy can hit.
Yeah, he's a bad dude, man. He comes from Eastern Pennsylvania, where Larry Holmes is from. He's got a nice sharp jab. He reminds me of an old-school fighter, the way that KAINELL Wheeler fights. You know, he fights behind that jab. He's got a very good counter right hand.
Kind of just looking at him here, you got to back this guy up. You can't let him set that jab up in that right hand. Because MYKQUAN is going to have to press him, but at the same time, try not to run into right hands like that.
KACZMARKIEWICZ has that Polish contingent behind them. You heard them boo Wheeler and you know, big their man up.
They always back their guys. Polish fight fans, very, very partisan. Let's put it that way.
KACZMARKIEWICZ.
I like what KACZMARKIEWICZ is doing. He's staying low, jabbing high. A little uptown jab there as he changes levels. There it is again.
Living partly your neck of the woods, Long Island, New York, Chris.
Oh, good body shot from Wheeler.
Fighter from Poland, said at the time in Long Island. PE teacher in Poland. Wheeler has the height advantage, the reach advantage. Said he has a little bit, Chris, that Tommy Hearns kind of style. Really turn over that long right hand.
Yeah, no. Oh,
good right hand there from MYKQUAN as Wheeler was trying to throw an uppercut with the low lead hand. You got to be careful there.
Paul, you talk about all the time, you can overcome the reach advantage if you push in at the right time for timing's good. Right now.
Also, the bad choice of shot selection there by Wheeler as he was looking for an uppercut.
KACZMARKIEWICZ. Timing looks very good on those power shots. Good movement as well.
That's one thing about Wheeler. He doesn't have good wheels. You know, he wants to plant his feet and drop that right hand like that. Doesn't back out very well. Backs out straight with his hands down. Fights tall. There are a lot of openings. You just got to go through hell to get there.
KACZMARKIEWICZ from Long Island. Oh, part of Long Island.
Just says he spends parts of the time in Long Island.
I remember when Poles used to go to Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Oh, good shot there by KACZMARKIEWICZ.
Good stuff early for the fighter from Poland.
And then went right back down to the body. Smart.
KACZMARKIEWICZ showing good ability right now. Paul, you talk all the time about the mentality of Eastern European fighters, but a fighter like this, you didn't see him come up. You don't know what he necessarily did in the amateurs or the pros. So it's kind of like you got to figure it out in the ring. That's never easy.
No, you know, there's challenges to that, but at the same time, you know, you learn to sort of control these kind of fights by dictating that a little bit. KACZMARKIEWICZ has been beaten already once early in his career, so I'm not sure he has the kind of amateur standout career that maybe some of these other guys have had from Eastern Europe, but nonetheless, he's got solid fundamentals. But like you said, Jimmy, he's the PE teacher in Poland, so it's not like he's been fully focused on boxing like some of the other, you know, crazy amateur experienced Eastern Europeans.
Yeah, where it's been a full-time job since they were 6. Yeah. Not one of those guys.
Yeah. Wheeler almost never has his right hand up. He just keeps it in that position, ready to fire at his chest.
Fighter from Poland doing good work in round number 1. KACZMARKIEWICZ, who boxed very, very well in round number 1, taking advantage, Chris, of the defensive lapses you talk about with KAINELL Wheeler.
Yeah, very, very good work from KACZMARKIEWICZ in that round. He used some nice lateral movement, fired off that movement. I liked how he led with the right hand, came back with the stiff jab, because like you said, Wheeler has holes, defensively especially, does not fight him going backwards very well at all.
Gave Najee Lopez a very tough fight on our very talented up-and-coming light heavyweight. Was in that fight until, once again, Najee Lopez able to turn it on and get the victory.
Yeah, Najee was a shootout. Yeah, Wheeler was very dialed in that night. He looked very, very sharp. Najee eventually broke him down, essentially got him to quit.
This kind of fight Wheeler wants. You talk about his lack of wheels, his lack of ability to move left and right. Does he want just a step-in firefight?
Yeah, I mean, he's controlling the center of the ring. KACZMARKIEWICZ just gives us a good lateral movement, though, and firing off that. He's not staying right in front of Wheeler, which is what he wants.
Left hook there all day, Paulie, because he said Wheeler just doesn't keep that right hand up.
Yeah, he's so offensive-minded with that right hand.
You can see that Wheeler, there's something there. He doesn't put it together. And also, sometimes the shot selection, is what he chooses to throw at what time, is not always the best. So you can tell there's something to work with there. Wheeler, great height, good power, he's a good athlete, but his choices in there sometimes are what cost him.
7 wins, 6 by knockout. Our fighter meeting, all he talked about is, hey, my power is the equalizer here.
Wheeler strikes me as a guy who's 50-0 in the street.
Certainly has the power for it.
He's also got like that deceptive body. Like if you put clothes on him, you're like, yeah, he's tall.
I can take this guy.
He's tall, but and then he can knock out a donkey.
So the Atlas says, he goes, it's the skinny guys you got to watch out for. They have the knockout power.
Once you start backing on, good combination there by KACZMARKIEWICZ.
Not just a combination, but out immediately, angling out, good footwork.
A lot of lateral movement this round. All the non-discipline Wheeler has with his hand positioning. It's great hand positioning.
Shot.
KACZMARKIEWICZ has great hand positioning, and it works for his defense and his offense, as you saw there.
Looks like Wheeler is hurt up against the ropes.
I like how he goes down to the body. When he does catch Wheeler with a good shot, he brings it down low. You got that long torso, a lot of real estate. Beat that body up, take the power away from the power puncher.
Not even 2 rounds through this fight, scheduled for 6. Wheeler already hurt. The boxer from Poland, 7-1-1. They only lost, by the way, a decision loss in Poland. KACZMARKIEWICZ fighting very, very well, gentlemen.
Very
no
smart.
other way to say it.
Very smart.
Some action from that round number 2. There's that right hand, left right behind it.
Yeah, Wheeler almost went down there. That was a really good. I mentioned how KACZMARKIEWICZ was firing off of that lateral movement. Stops on a dime, fires that right hand, comes back to the left hook. Been very, very smart. He's very aware of what he has in front of him. The guy can punch. Okay, I'm going to be a moving target.
And also that idea, and it's early in his career, only 9 professional fights, but Paulie, when he had his man hurt, didn't go crazy, didn't look too hard for them, didn't chase the knockout.
No, and I think he's also cognizant that Wheeler may be able to punch, so he doesn't want to run into anything, so he's playing it smart. Sometimes I think he's being a little too cautious, but again, when you got a puncher in front of you, it's a little bit better to be safe than sorry.
Back up, Wheeler, back up. Scheduled for 6 rounds. We begin round number 3. KAINELL Wheeler in the red and white. To your right is KONRAD KACZMARKIEWICZ. The black trunks.
I don't know if he can be too cautious with a guy like Wheeler. Everybody's got 3 rounds, and he can punch, man. Ooh, good body shot.
Fight in the light heavyweight division, 175 pounds. The fighters weighing in 174.
That was the uppercut he was looking for a few rounds ago. That one he almost got it off there. A few rounds ago he got hit with a right hand, but this time he did get it off. Just short.
Yeah, you're right, Tim. You see Wheeler's got a lot of tools, man. He's got reactions, he's athletic, he can punch, he's got the height.
Yeah, again, the choices. He ends up getting squared up with his hands down, he ends up backing straight out. Throws a right hand when he should throw a jab, you know, things like that.
Yeah. I don't think he has a corner with him either. The cornermen are wearing New York stuff. New York stuff, so it's probably not his team. Coming from Bethlehem, PA, I don't think guys wear Yankee hats and Mets hats there.
It is the World Series.
They're wearing Dodger stuff. I understand completely. But anyway, back to the actual fighting. You know, one of the things about Wheeler, Paul, you said, you know, some of the fundamentals are good, right? That you talk about, you build those things in the amateurs, and you know, it's hard to fill them in as a pro. Some of those parts seem to be missing from Wheeler. Some of the pieces, but not the glue to put it all together.
Yeah. And, good right hand that way. Wheeler, you can see has the athleticism, but again, you can see maybe from not having crazy amount of amateur experience, his choice of type of fight he fights sometimes is off.
He's starting to loop that right hand. He's not throwing it straight anymore.
Because he sees KACZMARKIEWICZ going around the side, maybe trying to catch him as he's moving that way, I'm not sure.
KACZMARKIEWICZ, though, constantly moving, angling side to side.
And that's what I'm saying, where he's too cautious. You back your man up there, and then you allow him to start setting again, coming forward. And that's where Wheeler can be dangerous. So Wheeler is backing up more and more easily when you put numbers on him. He gives you a chance to step to him and keep backing him up there.
Wheeler also makes a big mistake. He brings the back foot up to his front foot constantly. He just walks forward the wrong way.
Takes away your balance, takes away your power, having those feet close. It's a combat sports universal.
We're missing a mouthpiece here.
Good call by the ref there, very quick.
Certainly so far, an entertaining fight, contrasting styles.
Oh, I thought it was Wheeler's mouthpiece. I never understand when guys' mouthpieces fall out.
Dolly's telling him, referee Dolly's saying, bro, bite down on it.
Literally, not metaphorically. Bite down on your mouthpiece.
I don't know, if you have a properly fitted mouthpiece, they're hard to get out.
Dude, they're hard to take out.
I don't understand.
I never lost a mouthpiece in my life.
Never had a mouthpiece fall out of my mouth.
Kids, spend the money. Spend the money on the mouthpiece. Go to a dentist and get it done.
Teeth are expensive, trust me. Mouthpiece is a lot cheaper.
Good exchange, good body shots there by Wheeler.
Yeah. Wheeler looking a little comfortable.
MIYO Yoshida, 17-4 in our main event against SHURRETTA METCALF. She'll be defending her IBF title. SHURRETTA METCALF victorious in the first fight. Yoshida looking to make sure there is no doubt in the rematch. Udabella said, I expect a much better fight even than the first one. It's going to be all action in our main event. Little action from that third round. KACZMARKIEWICZ doing good work. Wheeler, though, starting to get a bit more comfortable, Paulie.
Tried to get off that that uppercut there. He came a little bit closer this time around, but still came up just short.
He said off balance. You know, a lot of times just stumbling a little bit when he's trying to throw punches.
Better round for Wheeler, I thought. A lot more comfortable. Didn't get hit with too many big shots. And was coming forward quite a bit. And that's the way he likes to fight.
Round number 4 of 6.
Did you win it, Chris?
What's that?
Did you win the round?
If there was a round you could give him to him, that would be it. You know, so it could be 2-1, but I could also see it 3-0.
KACZMARKIEWICZ in the black. KAINELL Wheeler in the red and white.
It's tough because you don't want to do comparison rounds, right? And yeah, he had a better round, but was it enough?
Brilliant statement from Emmanuel Stewart. He said, you guys do better, and they give him a round. He still didn't win.
Yeah.
Also, there's another thing that leads me to believe KACZMARKIEWICZ didn't have a big amateur career. His out is way too big. You know, like he doesn't need to be out all the time by 5 miles. You know what I'm saying? Like he gets in, he throws a nice combination, but then he jumps 5 miles away, and he actually lets Wheeler get on his front foot momentum again, which is where the Wheeler gets dangerous. You can step just out, so Wheeler doesn't get so brave coming forward because you just hit him with a combination, and then you can step back in, you know, and then you take control of that a bit that way. When KACZMARKIEWICZ moving so much, it gives Wheeler a chance to get on that, that pressure, and again, he can sit on his shots like that where he gets dangerous.
And Champ, also to your point, all that extra movement is very tiring. You've seen him starting to slow down here.
The mark of a great fighter is how little you miss by. The all-time greats, defensively, you miss by a hair because they're always back in play.
KACZMARKIEWICZ letting Wheeler get off too much because he's so open, Wheeler. He walks in the front door, he's got his hands down. A lead right hand almost never misses, but if you allow him to walk into his range and let those hands go, he's a very dangerous guy.
Almost feel his confidence growing since the last round.
It was a nice combination back as cage. There he goes again, 5 miles away. So there he goes.
Yeah, but he's going right into the corner too. Yeah. Wasting a lot of juice, a lot of steps. Very inefficient movement.
Also, gentlemen, the optics. Looks like you're running a little bit. When you over-defend, you're leaping out.
Especially after you land.
Yeah.
Which, listen, when he lands and if he wouldn't let Wheeler get anything off, okay, but now Wheeler's starting to get off more and more as the fight's progressing, although the last 30, 40 seconds have been good for KACZMARKIEWICZ even with the over movement. But you just take risks of letting Wheeler get that confidence. Good shot there by KACZMARKIEWICZ again.
Gets a little nod from Wheeler. KACZMARKIEWICZ from Poland, getting a lot of support. I heard the crowd chanting earlier.
Yeah, KACZMARKIEWICZ getting scrappy here in the last minute. He's not having a good round, but he's picked it up here.
Trying to win it back. 10 seconds left to go. Round number 4 scheduled for 6.
Ooh, good right to the pit of the stomach from Wheeler.
That is it for round number 4. Looks like Wheeler still losing rounds, but you could argue gaining momentum. Is that fair, Chris? He's starting to gain a little bit of confidence.
I actually gave Wheeler that last round. Sure. I think the first 3 belong to KACZMARKIEWICZ. I keep saying Kovic, not Russian, Polish. But just allowing Wheeler to work too much in that last round, and I think he did enough to actually cinch it.
Certainly something for his corner to get excited about in between rounds. Things are starting to go your way. He's definitely owned these last 2 rounds.
Early on, it's smart for KACZMARKIEWICZ to be in and be out, be in and be out. But then there comes a point in the fight where if that's working, your out is a little bit less distant. You're more confident. You should start to gain the timing of your opponent to where you don't have to go 5 miles out. Now you can go just like
he's actually gotten worse.
Still keep control. Yeah, he's gotten worse because he never adjusted it there. And so now with the rounds going by, you're working hard and you're getting tired fast.
And it's not like Wheeler's the kind of guy who hits you on the way out anyway. So it's not like you really have to dive out and be that flighty.
No, he's going so far away, Wheeler can't even throw. I mean, there's no engagement. But Wheeler comes forward, and then when he does stop, and now Wheeler's in the front foot, there's again a good shot there.
Right hand coming in by Wheeler.
He shortened that up nice, did Wheeler. Short, choppy shot.
To your point, Chris, it's almost like he never brings his hands back to where they're supposed to be. He's always there for the counter shot.
Yeah, it's just there to punch. He's a two-fisted puncher. KACZMARKIEWICZ got away from that jab, which was working really well in the first round. Getting back to it here is smart.
Wheeler now turning up the volume. Not a counter puncher. A combination puncher early in this fight. Throwing ones. Now at least some 2s and 3s coming out of the fighter from Pennsylvania.
He just looks comfortable. That's dangerous. A guy like Wheeler, who stays pretty calm anyway, but he looks very, very comfortable here. Ooh, that'll make it uncomfortable. Nice right hand down to the pit of the stomach.
KONRAD KACZMARKIEWICZ 7-1-1. Only 3 of those wins by knockout. As we've seen, not a huge puncher. Did have Wheeler hurt early in the fight. Didn't follow up, and that's been about it in terms of actual fight-ending moments.
Yeah, KACZMARKIEWICZ is definitely digging deep. He was tired a few rounds ago. Seemed like I thought lost that last round, but he's having some good success here in round 5.
Wheeler with that lack of footwork that you've talked about, Chris, is always got to wait for KACZMARKIEWICZ to come in. So when KACZMARKIEWICZ wants to stay out and rest, he can, because he's not going to come get him.
Well, so when you bring your back foot up to your front foot, like you're so slow and open. The way that he does. Look at the way he's the cross step. He just steps up.
He doesn't push off his back foot. He steps with it.
You just time that. You could score a knockdown. You could knock him off balance. You could always just keep him at bay.
Stay off his head. Stay off the back of his head. Work your hands. No hold. Work out of that.
20 seconds left to go in round number 5, scheduled for 6.
Good body work here. KACZMARKIEWICZ.
Gonna put their stamp on this round.
Good get back round.
Again, KACZMARKIEWICZ. I can't take it. He goes so far away. You got Wheeler's laying on the ropes. You just leave him there. Good shot there, KACZMARKIEWICZ.
Number 6, the final round of this fight. Fighter from Poland, KONRAD KACZMARKIEWICZ versus KAINELL Wheeler. Poland versus Pennsylvania at 175 pounds. So far, KACZMARKIEWICZ more than likely ahead on the scorecards. Will we get a strong finish from Wheeler? That is the question. He can punch. 7 wins, 6 by knockout. But does he have the wind left to do it? KACZMARKIEWICZ in the black, Wheeler in the red and white. This is what the fight has looked like. You're just joining us. KACZMARKIEWICZ angling on the outside. Good movement back and forth, throwing combinations. Wheeler, the puncher, waiting for KACZMARKIEWICZ to get inside. He can throw that very powerful right hand. Forced to wait.
Oh, good right hand from KACZMARKIEWICZ, right down the middle. Beautiful 1-2. Makes me wonder. I wonder if KACZMARKIEWICZ could make 168. Just does not strike me as a light heavyweight. Doesn't seem to carry the height, the build.
He's 5'10". Certainly not tall for a light heavyweight.
He really kind of tall for a light heavyweight, right?
Wheeler's 6'1". He's not a huge light heavyweight. He's got long arms though. But I remember when he fought Naji Lopez, who is a big light heavyweight, he didn't look oversized, undersized at all.
This is 6'1" to 5'10.5", then the KACZMARKIEWICZ is lying about his height.
Yeah.
He's 5'10".
Yeah, it looks like Wheeler's 6'3", right?
Well, KACZMARKIEWICZ is 5'8".
Right. Which makes me think, I wonder if he could make 68.
Certainly, as he moves up, see, I'm trouble with those taller guys with the reach and the speed to keep you on the outside.
Just also power, like, you know, not a big puncher.
Really trying to find a home for that sneaky right hand. And he has had success. That's what he's been with that, just like that.
That's that uppercut he's looking for.
Yeah, he's been trying it.
Seems like you judge this fight looking at the footwork of both fighters. Yeah, the footwork of Wheeler just has not been there.
Gripping uppercuts with both hands now. I think Wheeler feels like the sand is coming out of the hourglass real quick. Starting to pick it up a little.
Might be too little, too late. We're in the final round.
KACZMARKIEWICZ has been the only one who's been able to throw all these combinations of punches together too, you know, and that's hurt Wheeler as well.
A lot of pot shots, maybe 1s and 2s.
Blood from the nose, probably from that uppercut from Wheeler a few moments ago.
KACZMARKIEWICZ landed some good right hands with seconds left to go in the fight.
KACZMARKIEWICZ, whether he gets the wins on or not, he's gonna know he's in a fight.
Excellent job for the fighter from Poland. Wheeler, though, made it a fight. put the punches together when he needed it most. See what the judges have to say about it. Will that young man get his 8th pro win right now? 7-1-1. The 3 by knockout here. Some highlights, gentlemen.
Oof. The uppercut right there. That might have could have broken nose.
Yeah, that's the one that seemed to bust up the nose.
Get the bleed in there. Could also break a nose with that.
Uppercuts don't take much, man. One good uppercut, that'll ruin your weekend.
And more.
Cosmetic surgery, never fun, gentlemen. We know it. You've seen it enough times.
You know, I never had surgery on my nose.
Many boxers do. You know that well. Yep.
I probably should do that so I could sleep a little better, but other than that.
All boxers go through it.
Vanderlei Silva, for the MMA fans, had to have a whole new nose made.
The axe murderer.
The axe murderer, right? A whole new nose constructed. Couldn't breathe at all. You need to watch like 2 of his fights. Oh, that's why. It's just not. You don't wonder why.
Just know.
Well, you don't get the nickname Axe Murderer for having great defense.
Didn't win a lot of decisions.
Let's
put it that way. Yep, very true. Legend in the sport. But KONRAD, KACZMARKIEWICZ, looks like he's feeling good about this decision. The question is, do the judges agree? Crowd very much behind him tonight.
I thought he did plenty to win the fight tonight. He had to work for it, absolutely, but just too busy. Kept Wheeler off balance quite a bit. Landed good combinations. Hurt him in that one round. I think it was the second round.
Wheeler is not active enough. Occasionally did work with the right hand, but not a lot of combinations. See the physical talent, Paul. It's another one. It's kind of a theme tonight. You're like, God, it's frustrating because you can learn some of the parts. Just needs to put it all together.
Yeah, at this point, he's kind of stuck where he's at. Tough to teach an old dog new tricks as well.
Very true.
There's Diablo in the corner. Well, now we know it's New York corner because Diablo's the old school New York as it gets. Diablo was working corners against me when I was an amateur. And I still don't know his real name. It's just Diablo.
And by the way, Paulie's
his name?
Diablo knows his name.
Diablo's real name or
no?
No. Oh, just know him as Diablo.
No, I don't. He doesn't have one.
By the way, anything that happened as an amateur was a long time ago. Paulie is long retired. You have the decision ready to go. It's a light heavyweight showdown. Let's end all suspense.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of professional fighting, we go to your judges' scorecards for your winner. Judge Mark Constantino scores it 59-55 for KACZMARKIEWICZ. Judge John McKay scores it 56-58 for Wheeler. And Judge Georgie Gergov scores it 59-55 for your winner by split decision, KONRAD Ernie KACZMARKIEWICZ.
Okay, so the right guy won. But are you a little nervous?
But this is where, the champ makes a good point. Like John McKay is clearly a guy who doesn't understand what he's watching. He just knows whoever's going forward and whoever's going backwards. And so he's just got a very novice-y outlook. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm watching. But I'll just give it to whoever's coming forward because that's like boxing for dummies. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's a commissioned judge is what's bothersome. I don't mind you not knowing anything about boxing, or even if you watch 100 fights and still not understanding it, because clearly McKay's like that. But my issue is you're a commissioned judge for a very big commission in the United States, and you're judging.
You're not supposed to see it like my mom.
This is exactly. Yeah. Your mom, your daughter, they give it to the person who's coming forward because they don't know the nuances. There's nuance to this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's called boxing. It's not called follow the leader, like I always like to tell people. And luckily, the right guy won.
But Chris, I couldn't see more than 2 rounds if you were trying to give him.
I gave him 1.
Yeah, give him 1.
Which is what 2 judges I think did.
The winner, KONRAD KACZMARKIEWICZ. Really tough fight. Eric, you're going to translate. Wheeler throws some really tough punches. You can see the bruises on your face. You moved a lot in there. I thought you showed great movement. How would you rate your performance tonight?
Dobrze się ruszałeś. On się dużo ruszał i mocno bił. Jak byś oceniał twój występ dzisiejszy?
Walka na pewno była bardzo ciężka. Tutaj przeciwnik bił mocne ciosy. Nie dałem mu się przycelować, przez co ruszałem się cały czas na nogach. Też w Polsce trenuję z trenerem z Kuby, także nad tym pracujemy cały czas. I co, przede wszystkim tutaj taktyka była od trenerów, żeby nie stanąć w miejscu, no bo zawodnik mocno bijący, gdybym przystanął, mógłby mnie ucelować, a tak miałem celniejsze ciosy, może lżejsze, bo cały czas się ruszałem i nie miałem jak zadać mocnego ciosu przez to, ale no tutaj punktowałem i musiałem być czujny.
We came into this fight knowing that the opponent definitely hits hard, so we put a big emphasis on my movement, which is why some of my punches might not have been the hardest because I was moving so much, but it was a priority for us and my team. We've been training in Poland on this to be constantly moving. At the end of the day, it's a win and another step in the right direction.
A lot of fans here, a lot of Polish fans here in New York. Final message to all your fans here.
Tak, chciałbym bardzo podziękować wszystkim tutaj, którzy się zgromadzili na hali, żeby mi kibicować, zwłaszcza moim rodakom. Jesteście najlepsi, było was bardzo słychać. Dziękuję.
I want to thank all my Polish fans for coming out. I heard you guys in the ring. I'm so thankful to you. I love you guys.
Victorious KONRAD KACZMARKIEWICZ. Judge going the wrong way, but the right fighter won. Coming up later, MIYO YOSHIDA, SHURRETTA, METCALF. Our main event, Japan versus the US, IBF title on the line. Rematch of a very entertaining fight. One more to go and is a banger of a co-main event coming up next.
ProBox TV Contender Series. November 1st, ProBox TV makes its European debut in collaboration with Conlan Boxing. Padraig the Hammer McCrory returning to the ring to take on the hard-hitting Colombian Leonard Carrillo. And in the co-main, the UK's Robbie Davies Jr. clashes with former two-weight world champ Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic. Live from the SSE Arena in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Welcome back to the ProBox TV studios. Jimmy Smith alongside the champs, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. Gentlemen, November 9th, when you look at that card, you talk about the excitement level, Chris. So you expect so many ProBox veterans to show out that night. What are you looking forward to?
I mean, the return of Jojo Diaz is a big deal, you know, and the fact that, you know, what he's gone through, we'll be highlighting his story, you know, a lot leading up to the fight. Just seeing him around the ProBox arena and training there has been really cool to watch him at that level come to ProBox, you know, gym and also to spend time in the rehabilitation center there. So plus just, you know, just the light that he's bringing back, you know, to his life and to the sport.
When you look at it, of course, so many names of ProBox TV. What's been added, Paulie, is so many guys from ProBox TV are now getting the recognition, they're getting the opportunities. When you travel around and you mention ProBox TV, they talk about, man, you guys put on amazing fights, and a lot of the fighters who are doing well are moving on to great things. Does that up the ante when it comes to November 9th?
Yeah, I think so. You know, the reputation is now, you know, sort of showing itself in the rewards that come with winning on ProBox TV. In the beginning, we're like, oh, these are pretty good fights, you know? Yeah. And the fans can say, oh, these are pretty good fights. I like it. But now there's enough of a resume built to where, you know, even the business of boxing is giving ProBox the respect in that the guys who win here on ProBox, they're getting opportunities on bigger levels. You know, in the beginning, like I said, it was just good fights and everybody was happy with good fights. But now it's like, yo, it's good fights constantly. These guys deserve more.
Well, guys are also asking to be on our air. Yeah. They're asking to be on our platform.
Word got out, you know, and I think that it creates more of the momentum, and that's why we're getting guys like ex-world champions, Jojo Diaz. We had Jarrett Hurd. We had Jason Rosario. Even the mid-range contenders, either prospects coming up or ex-contenders coming back down looking for one more shot.
Angelo Leo, of course, going from us to world champion.
You know, there's been, and the matchups have been all very, very solid. And we thank all you guys at home for, you know, continuing to support the channel. Tell your friends, download the app, because the more the channel grows, the more fights we can bring, and the better the fights we can bring.
Yeah, Jojo D is, of course, an outstanding name. You look at names like Jesus Saracho, a guy that we know from our air brings it every single time. He is one of those names when you look at ProBox TV that's a can't miss, always aggressive.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw. I mean, he's been on our air maybe 3-4 times at this point. I think he's, 2-2, but he's had some tough losses. He's had some great wins, but regardless, he's always exciting, and he's very, very talented. When that guy's in shape, forget it. He can beat anybody.
And, of course, Lou DiBella, of course, our partner tonight for this show out of Madison Square Garden. There's going to be more of that. Conlon Boxing has partnered with ProBox TV. That's where we're doing fights in Ireland and the UK. We have our passports ready to go. But another thing, that influx of talent from the UK, from Ireland, they fit so well, Paulie, with that ProBox TV mentality, because English fighters, Irish fighters, they come to get it every time.
You know what it is, too? We're going to have the crowd there as well, so that gives you the atmosphere. At the ProBox Event Center, we have always a small arena. It's comfortable, but it's a great crowd. You hear the energy from the crowd, and I think that translates well to the TV broadcast as well. And I think being in Belfast with that kind of vociferous crowd and these popular fighters there, I think it's going to have the same effect.
Now, when you look forward, of course, we have November 9th coming up, November 1st. We have a slate of amazing fights coming up. But Chris, it's that international flavor of when you come to ProBox TV, no matter where you're from, when you saw a Polish fighter in New York City, get the crowd behind him, if you fight hard, you fight well, people will recognize you, and you'll come back win or lose.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the script for ProBox TV, and I think guys understand that. You come here and you fight, you don't run, you stand your ground, you bite down. Win, lose, or draw, you can come back.
Because Gary Jonas, the owner, loves. He doesn't want runners and holders. He wants that good action.
He loves action, and another fighter that's looked great on ProBox TV is MYKQUAN Williams, undefeated in his career. His opponent is LAVISAS Williams. Look at the age difference. 7 years older is Williams. Slight reach advantage, slight height advantage. But the experience level, definitely for MYKQUAN Williams. How will he look tonight? That is the question. As we go back in the ring at Madison Square Garden, MYKQUAN Williams, known as Marvelous, 21-0-2, 10 knockouts in those wins, but up and down performances sometimes, especially under big lights against better opposition. How will it work tonight? That is the question. Which Williams will we see? LAVISAS Williams, the Wizard, 10-1-1, but only 3 knockouts. We interviewed him. There he is on your screen. He talked about his boxing ability.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your co-main event of the night. Presented to you by Barclays. DiBella Entertainment presents 8 rounds for the WBA Continental America's Gold Super Lightweight Championship. Your judges for the co-main event, Frank Lombardi, Anthony Lundy, and Kevin Morgan. And now, introducing, fighting out of the blue corner, your challenger, wearing the white, red, and gold. He weighed in at 138.6 pounds. His record, 10 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw, and 3 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Rochester, New York. Introducing LAVISAS, the Wizard Williams. And now, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue, orange, and black. He weighed in at 140 even pounds. His record, 21 victories, 0 defeats, 2 draws, and 10 wins by knockout. He fights out of East Hartford, Connecticut. He is the undefeated, reigning, defending WBA Continental America's Gold Super Lightweight Champion. Presenting Marvelous MYKQUAN Williams. When the action begins, your referee is Harvey Dock.
All right, fellas, we went over the instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. If you want, touch gloves. Good luck.
It's a showdown in the super lightweight division in our co-main event. Marvelous MYKQUAN Williams versus LAVISAS Williams.
right, fellas, here we go.
We are underway, round number 1. MYKQUAN in the blue. Levias in the white with yellow trim.
Interesting factoid is that Levias has a loss to Oshaki Foster back in 2016. His only loss to Oshaki
Everybody fights
Foster.
Oshaki on the Tonight Show.
Oshaki's one of those guys, incredibly talented and how good he is. Ready for a tough night tonight. He knows he got that outbox MYKQUAN the entire fight.
He's got nice length and reach. Obviously, he's got that southpaw position, but he's actually got a jab. A lot of southpaws don't use their jab. Levias seems like that's his bread and butter.
Of course, we're losing their first names. Both fighters with last name Williams. But Levias,
but they kind of look related too.
I just like the name. I just like the name Levias. I want to say Levias a lot, so I'm going to call Levias first.
Go ahead.
But their last name is the same too. And
the fact that he's in Levias,
like maybe they are relatives. They don't know about.
Built very, very similarly.
Oh, good straight left hand right down the middle from Levias.
The fact that he is not Levias the Leviathan Williams kind of bugs me a little bit.
There's still time. There's still time.
Young in his career. Get another nickname.
Good double right hand to close the gap there by MYKQUAN.
MYKQUAN, man, he's so explosive. He changes directions really, really quickly.
But it's funny, Chris, we were talking about this fight. Like, MYKQUAN is really talented, but doesn't always put it together that way.
Doesn't show up all the time. Yeah, doesn't show up all the time. He's got those 2 draws on there, which, someone as talented as he is, and we can see it already. It's like, even the guys he was fighting, he should have beat them easily, but sometimes something's off.
We had him on ProBox.
Oh, so impressive.
Luis Feliciano, that was who he fought on ProBox.
He looked like a world beater that night.
KO in the 6th round. It was target practice with both hands.
This is a kid, if you keep him busy, keep him in the gym, and can develop some momentum, I think he can be dangerous.
It's also amazing he's only 26, because I feel like I've been hearing about this kid for a long time.
Elias coming out, of course, in southpaw stance. Use that right jab. And a lot of power punches in this fight. The difficulty in his fight has been the consistency. The last time he fought multiple times in the calendar year was 2015.
Good shot there.
Double left hook, high and low. That one to the body was nasty.
Combination there. Didn't fight from 2019 to 2024 in Levias.
Yeah, I saw that 5-year gap in there. Took that loss against Oshaki, comes back after a 3-year layoff.
Good right hand. Down he goes. Levias on his back in round number 1.
I'd be surprised if he recovers from that. His legs were really wobbly.
Fortunately, it's the end of the round. He'll make it to round number 2. Barely makes it. Is that a knockdown? Yes, it is. Great call, Paulie. The punch was thrown before the bell. 2 knockdowns in round number 1.
MYKQUAN, you see the way he shoots that right hand. It's coming like it's coming out of a shotgun. You see, like it's so short and compact.
Yeah, there's nothing wasted on that punch.
That is basically the worst first round imaginable. 2 knockdowns. This is how it happened, gentlemen.
Bang. Right hand on the
double
temple.
Right hand again.
Yep. And it was
he's doing double right hand a couple times in this round.
See the temple shot.
He's fighting a southpaw. That's amazing that generated that much power. That is a weird arm punch, but right in the temple.
We missed it.
We missed it. The straight right.
That was
Come on in the truck. You missed it.
Such a shotgun straight right hand. That was so nice.
Beautiful right
Listen,
hand.
guys, that's how you fight southpaws. He doubles up the right hand and then a straight right hand right down the middle to the chin. Textbook. Here it is. Choo! Yep. No fat on that punch. Right down the middle. Splits the guard. Beautiful, beautiful execution.
Just when you thought he was going to get out of the round without another knockdown, he takes another knockdown.
Yeah, good on MYKQUAN for taking that opportunity.
Yeah.
Teddy Atlas is somewhere smiling, saying no fat on that punch. We can hear him in our heads, gentlemen. We start round number 2.
Lean and mean. Lean and mean.
Both Williams, MYKQUAN in the blue and orange. Levias, white and yellow.
It was a big 1-minute break for Levias, and also before she was in round 1, he used to recover pretty well. It was later in the fight, the minute might have not let him recover.
Yeah, very good point, Paulie. That's the one thing. I don't know how many trainers you talk to, and I've talked to a lot. They're like, look, there's nothing you do to get a guy back. It's just, they got to come back, and they don't.
Yeah, but it's a good point, Champ, have it happening early, because every time you get hurt, it like takes your energy bar down like a video game. But it's later in the fight, it's much more difficult to recover. I always think about Fernando Vargas and Tito Trinidad. 2 vicious knockdowns in the first round. Gets through it, fights back. 2 knockdowns in the last round, can't recover.
Our own ProBox TV, Juan Manuel Marquez, famous bad early fights against Pacquiao. Came back to get a draw.
3 times the first round.
Look at that. You see that right hand by Williams. He's trying to sneak it in there. Good left hand there by LAVISAS. But again, MYKQUAN with that short right hand, and that's, you know, we saw the success they had in round 1. And still shooting out, still compact, still lands. And LAVISAS is going to have to figure out a way to, if he's not going to slip it every time, at least when he does slip it, maybe counter it. Make MYKQUAN have some tentativeness when he throws it, because there's too much confidence in throwing that right hand, and it's already done. The damage is done.
Paulie, is the only difficulty that when you have success in round 1 or something, you tend to go back to it too much? You tend to over-rely on it? Is that an issue?
I mean, it could be, but it's not an issue unless he pays for it, you know? And right now, he's, you know, maybe you're not scoring in knockdowns every time, but he's not paying for throwing it. And it's compact, it's short. When he's missing, LAVISAS is not making him pay, like I said, and sometimes it still lands.
10 wins, only 3 knockouts for LAVISAS Williams. Not exactly a power puncher, to your point, Paulie. You got to make the guy back off and pay for that long right hand.
Yeah, but you might look at MYKQUAN's record, 21-0-2 and 10 knockouts. Because, oh, he's not a puncher. Yeah, obviously this guy can punch though.
It's again, it comes down to more than inconsistency than anything else. Consistent performance.
So explosive though. He's quick, explosive.
He's got a whip on those shots.
And he's got good structure on the punch. Like that right hand, he landed it. He had that good stiffness on the shot.
He's almost like, setup is overrated. Boom! Throwing that naked right hand and it's working.
Oh, when you're that fast and talented.
And also, yeah, has a good understanding of range, because he's not throwing it from places where it's going to be at risk. Look, he only changes the trajectory of it. He's doing it on the side first.
Oh, body shot.
Again, shots. This is a very talented kid, MYKQUAN. We've seen him different times now. Very impressive each time. This kid puts it together. He puts it together well.
Chris, you say sometimes he's not on? At the end of round number 2. He's on tonight,
he's on tonight,
for sure.
On tonight. He was on our air last time against Luis Feliciano. He's on tonight.
We are back November 9th. Nicolas Flaz versus Christian Gomez. Flaz 13-2 as a pro. Gomez 23-4-1. We're expecting fireworks in that main event. Nicolas Flaz, a very, very talented fighter. Jesus Saracho versus Fernando Bunch. That's going to be an outstanding co-main event. The return of Jojo Diaz. It's the questions that make a fight interesting. A lot of questions. Saturday, November 9th, Kissimmee, Florida. Get your tickets now. Into the corner, of course, of MYKQUAN Williams, who is having his way so far. Some redness around his right eye. To be expected, he's traded a few punches, but man, his right hand has been lethal throughout this fight. As we start round number 3, scheduled for 8.
Yeah, the biggest mark on either guy's face is MYKQUAN Williams. That's why you never listen to the idiot who judges things by marks on people's face or damage, because this is a dominant fight by MYKQUAN.
It's just your skin. MYKQUAN, he was marked up in the Feliciano fight too. And he was blocking beautifully. A lot of times the inside of the glove could be very unforgiving if you have tender skin. You know, he's fair-skinned, obviously, so.
Certain guys don't wear damage well.
Yeah.
There's just nothing. They take a couple punches and they're just,
you're sitting next to 2 of them.
That's why we know. That's why we can talk about it.
We are now round number 3, and so far,
again, that right hand.
Yeah, just not having an answer for that right hand, Paulie. Just
and yeah, I know what else I love about MYKQUAN's right hand. Look how he gets his head off center. When he throws it, his head is off to the side all the time.
I love how he slides out too.
So he's thinking defense. It looks like a sharp offensive punch, but he's thinking defense when he throws it every time, because he knows how to throw it sharp, he knows how to throw it short, but he also knows how to throw it where his head is off center, so that if there's anything coming back, which there hasn't been much coming back, it wouldn't hit him anyway.
And Chris, he almost always doubles up the power shot.
Yeah.
That takes real speed. If you remember a prime Roy Jones Jr., he would hit you with 5 hooks. You know, no setups in there. Doubling up power, very, very difficult. But right now, MYKQUAN able to do that.
Ooh, good left hook. LAVISAS is definitely taking the shots better since round 1.
Around the side right hand too. Every once in a while, MYKQUAN will throw it around the side with the right hand, so he can set up the straight one afterwards. Let's see if he goes straight now.
He's taking him well, but the problem is, Chris, he's still taking him.
Yeah, he's taking a lot.
I mean, he's enduring.
Oh,
Big
good
uppercut
shot.
on
And the
southpaw
body
stance by
shot,
MYKQUAN.
too.
MYKQUAN turned southpaw for 1 second and threw a big uppercut. That was a very creative way to set it up and a very creative shot to throw once he changed his stance.
Levias is tough, man. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. You saw the vein in the neck. That's when you know that liver shot hurt.
Yeah, he backed away quickly.
MYKQUAN unloading. Right now it's looking like target practice.
He's very hurt to the body here.
Yeah, he holds on there. That buys himself some time. It's something I feel you don't see in open guys get hurt. Good technique there to hold. Let's see if MYKQUAN is able to get off the shots.
MYKQUAN, the fighter from East Hartford, Connecticut, seeing everything go his way in this fight.
Now you can see Levias is tough, and he knows how to fight. He's just in with a superior boxer time.
When I say punches and bunches, I'm not used to it being the right hand exclusively. That's what we're seeing, a bunch of right hands in succession as we end round number 3.
Oh, catch and shoot.
What's going on in the corner of MYKQUAN Williams, because it seems like everything's going great. Don't know what advice they're going to give right now.
Here's that shouting. Turns southpaw here. Oh, what a right uppercut he threw there. He got all the weight on it. Yeah, and the liver shot.
I love that he's not forgetting the body. He gets some good headshots, goes right back downstairs from that southpaw position. That was a left hook off the rear hand from a southpaw position. Great shot.
Levias joined the face scrape club in that round. Levias now has also a scrape on his side of his face.
Doctor gonna check it out.
I think the doctor's just checking on him. He's taking some punches.
He has taken some damage, yeah. Good job by the doctor making sure everything's all right. We start round number 4.
I think that first knockdown was pretty scary, the way that his body reacted. So the doctor's going to keep an eye on you. The New York Commission's very, very strong.
Yeah, he got out of round 1 because it was the end of the round, honestly. Because if we're being
10
truthful,
more seconds,
yeah, he's out. He didn't get to react at all after that knockdown. He just got knocked down again.
This one's scheduled for 8. We're in round number 4. And Chris, from what you're seeing here, I mean, Levias, what would you change to avoid that right hand? Because it seems like he's falling for the same thing. Those bunches of right hands.
You know, it's like I said earlier. It's not it's not that he's a bad fighter. He's obviously very, very tough. He's in with a superior boxer tonight. You know, he needs to stay to that weak side, keep going to the right, stepping out to the right, angling. But I just don't know if he has the footwork for that.
Yeah, you see, also the way he's that fencing battle with the lead hands, he's not taking control of it either. You know what I mean? He's just kind of touching the inside of MYKQUAN's lead glove. He's got to take more control of that lead hand battle against the southpaw so that you can sort of dictate the steps you're going to take and which shots can be fired and which shots can be offset. And if you don't take control with that lead hand when you have a guy who's fencing with you, then he's going to dictate it. And that's what MYKQUAN Williams has been doing, is dictating that part of the fight.
He tried that in the first round. He came out jabbing well, did Levias, but you know, he's just getting picked apart by the speed.
Double hook there to the body by MYKQUAN Williams. And again, back to that right hand, guys.
No setup, and he can't see these right hands coming. Earlier tonight, Edward Vasquez showed that he's on another level. Probably due to MYKQUAN making that statement here right now.
You know, this is the second time I see MYKQUAN Williams on ProBox TV, and you know, both times he's sort of left me yearning for more. I mean, this fight's not over yet, but you want to see him in some bigger opportunities, in some bigger fights, having a consistent schedule. Because this kid, you know, he's got the goods.
And Chris, not just the physical ability. I like his fight IQ in this. He's making the right decisions at the right time.
No, it's his awareness, his boxing IQ, his setups, his defense. He's switching sides, everything. Even his shots like that. Like, yeah, he rubbernecked a little bit, got touched a little bit, but he didn't take much of that damage at all.
Yeah, the IQ and shot selection as well. Really
reactions, hand speed, foot speed, everything. Just put it all together really nice. you get the feeling if he steps on the gas at any point,
oh, some nice short right.
He could go home.
Oh, another great combination. Elias shaking his head, but those shots hurt.
And he's done damage to the head and to the body tonight, so, you know, it's a complete performance in that way.
Also, gentlemen, here on ProBox, we've seen some corners step in when they see fights getting a little too one-sided and might start getting there at this point.
Yeah.
Man, great atmosphere tonight, Madison Square Garden. Great card tonight. Lou DiBella Entertainment alongside ProBox put together a great card, but we've seen these, you know, I have a question with this guy coming in, right? That's been a theme tonight. And MYKQUAN Williams, very much one of those guys where, Chris, you said, yeah, we know he's talented. Can he put it all together? Can he string together a contender run or something like that? Tonight, he's looked almost flawless.
Well, there's no question the talent's there.
Yeah.
You know, we saw it on our air, and listen, there was a lot of hype around him a bunch of years ago when he was first coming up. For him, it's just consistency, and now we're looking at back-to-back TV performances where he looked great. I think he got a win in between. But yeah, he's looking fantastic once again tonight on our air. So listen, put this guy in the big fights. I'm ready to see him in there with a top 10, top 5 guy at this point.
Who is going to fight him, though, unless he gets put in a position to be a mandatory. He's not in a political position where he's going to be able to dictate that. So you'd like to see him get the opportunity, but some things are going to have to come together for him.
It was said about the late, great Aaron Hawk Pryor, a great 140-pound fighter. I'm sure you guys remember him from back in the day. A great fighter who's dangerous with meager earning potential. I remember that being his description. There's no reason to fight Aaron Pryor because he'd make you look bad. He'd hurt you, but he didn't put a lot of butts in.
And so that's the thing. I mean, sometimes the big networks or the big promoters, you know, they're sort of ignoring you until you've got the hope that somebody gives you an opportunity, and that's not always easy to do when you're super talented, very dangerous, and because of those, you know, those situations, nobody's going to be in a rush to fight you.
Elias Williams, he's stuck fighting MYKQUAN Williams right now.
The only good thing that he may have going for him in that way is that he doesn't have a lot of knockouts. So people may view him like a good boxer, but maybe not a big puncher. But even that's deceiving once you watch him fight. This is the second time we've seen him fight. We've seen some good power on the part of MYKQUAN Williams.
Not just 2 knockdowns, but very accurate with his power punches.
You know, back comes Levias, though. He's landed some good jabs with that lead southpaw hand, being a little more authoritative, like you were talking about, Champ. Actually standing his ground.
The way MYKQUAN throws both hands, it's like a piston coming at you. Very, very quick, very powerful.
Man, at the end of round 1, if you told me we'd be in round 5, I'd say no way.
Absolutely unbelievable. Elias very, very tough, but has yet to find a tactical way around the right hand.
Oh, clash of heads there. You got to be careful.
Surprisingly little of that, considering they're in opposite stances.
And with how explosive MYKQUAN is, closes that gap really quick.
Going to the body again with the right hand. Levias has some success with the jab, but hasn't made his power a factor. 10 wins, 3 knockouts, not exactly a power puncher. He has to find some way to keep MYKQUAN off of him. Hasn't been able to do that at all.
One thing about Levias, he's not in like survival mode either. He's just fighting guys better than him. But I like the fact that he's trying to keep the winning mentality throughout the fight. You know, he's trying. It's just the other guy's better. There's a double, triple jab there. He tries to change the punching angle.
No, the guy knows how to fight. You can see it. There's no question. He's got his style. He has not given up tonight. Not yet.
A short left hand there. You know, he's giving it a shot. He just hasn't been able to come together for him because, again, MYKQUAN is world class.
It isn't easy when you're outgunned. MIYO YOSHIDA, SHURRETTA METCALF in our main event tonight. That's our next fight for the IBF women's title. 17-4, 13-4-1, a rematch of a very entertaining fight won by SHURRETTA Metcalf. She said Yoshida did not want this rematch. I've had to dog her into the ring. See what happens in the main event. Welcome back. You are in the corner. MYKQUAN Williams. Call him marvelous, and I can see why tonight. Everything working, especially the right hand, throwing those in bunches against LAVISAS Williams. And here we go, start of round number 6. LAVISAS doing better in the last round. I don't think you could give him the round, but certainly improving, getting better with the jab.
He's getting his feet underneath him. He's back, getting behind that jab. Look, now he's letting the left hand go. Last round was kind of a get-back round for him. Now you see him coming out a little more authoritative. Let's see if he can build off that without taking any more damage. That's the problem. Once you start punching more, there's more opportunities to get hit back.
Exactly. Has felt the power down twice in round number 1. He's been hurt several times since then. So far, able to stay on his feet.
So hasn't had that, really found the answer for that right hand of MYKQUAN Williams. There it is right there again.
Every time we talk about it, it happens.
That was a nice trajectory change from MYKQUAN, caught him on the way out.
And that's the thing, too. I talked about MYKQUAN Williams. He has his head offline when he throws the right hand. But LAVISAS never gets his head offline, even from his own stance. His head is always right there across the middle. You know, even when he changes direction, he changes levels a little bit off to the side, maybe shift his head over. Did a little bit there. But overall, he's not consistently done that. And that's also been why it's been easier for MYKQUAN Williams to catch him with those right hands.
He's, if you're gonna fight tall, you have to control distance, and LAVISAS doesn't. He's fighting tall. He's fighting that perch position, but he's not keeping MYKQUAN at bay.
Not able to do that. Not able to pound or to land that power left hand. Another good short left. And also, right about now, when you start feeling those body punches, MYKQUAN has done great work with the body punches, just like that. Set up the right hand.
Also, just all that punishment, it builds up. It's a battle of attrition here at this point. Getting hit with so many clean punches, 6, 7, 8 rounds.
MYKQUAN right now, still accurate with the right hand.
Again, nothing in between there by LAVISAS. That's why MYKQUAN was able to miss those first two punches and still come back with a third shot and land it. LAVISAS, if there is daylight in between, he's got to at least go and get some pot shots off in between. Again, little things that will maybe deviate the offense of MYKQUAN and they take away the confidence. Now they got drew some blood from the nose, right, with those right hands. It's only a matter of time.
Chris, to your point, you kind of feel LAVISAS kind of wearing down. The punches are starting to really get to him.
Yeah, I mean, you see someone's head get rocked back multiple times with jarring punches multiple times around. There's only so much time you can take that.
A little left hand by LAVISAS lets us know he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
A lot of blood from the nose.
He's there, but he's eating right hands as well.
Missed the first 2 shots, and there's daylight in between there. You know, LAVISAS could come back with something in between there, but nope. Waits, and MYKQUAN lands a right hand.
We are back in the corner of MYKQUAN Williams. There is LAVISAS Williams. He has eaten a lot of right hands. See the referee talking to him. Sure you're feeling all right, kid? That's probably what he's asking him right now. He's taking some murderous punishment. We are in round 7 of 8. LAVISAS Williams in the white with yellow trim. MYKQUAN Williams in the blue, orange, and black. And it has been all MYKQUAN Williams. laser accurate with his right hand. His power punches have been on point. He's been doubling them, tripling them. Where the damage starts soaking in. Nose already bleeding.
Yeah, I mean, MYKQUAN landed a nice uppercut there, and then that's going to draw blood from an already damaged nose, that's for sure.
There's a lot of blood coming from that nose.
And MYKQUAN also does something else. You know, a lot of times he does throw a couple of throwaway punches instead of put you in bad position for the big shot. There's a big snappy shot, you know?
Impressive fight IQ, Paulie.
Yeah,
MYKQUAN.
we've seen it. Now, again, it's his second fight in a row. We've seen it very creative ways he sets up his shots. His fight IQ is very high.
And it looks like he's still working on things. Like he's got a deeper bag. Like he still have things that he can pull out.
Yeah, and like I feel like there's things he doesn't always show because he doesn't need to, you know? Getting southpaw stance right up to the body there. Counter left hand from the southpaw stance. Now
he's flowing right now.
Yeah, painting Levias with blood with that left
both
hand.
guys now in that southpaw stance.
Stiff, hard jab from that southpaw position.
Yeah, you can throw combinations from there. I guess both guys are just going to go southpaw from. Yeah, now MYKQUAN was almost going back right here.
Yeah, starting to square up a little bit there.
He's like, I'll stay at the southpaw stance. Why not?
You can tell he's putting a little more mustard in these shots here. Planting his feet.
Yeah, some guys, as you know, they see blood, they start turning it on.
Yeah,
Nose
and
leaking
it also
blood.
tells you he's probably just comfortable. Everything has worked so far. You know, he's done a lot. We were talking about other wrinkles he may have that he may not have shown. Well, this is another wrinkle right here. He looks very comfortable in southpaw stance. Even has a sharp, solid jab, which usually from your backup stance, sometimes your jab is not as sharp.
I just like that he's still so snappy and explosive. Showing good speed here.
And very active through 7 rounds, and yet he's not really slowed down. You might have the confidence of success, right, Paulie? When things are working, for some reason you have a lot more energy.
Oh, of course, of course.
But also he's controlling the pace. Yeah. He's in complete control.
Gotta give Levias some credit too, man. We didn't think he was gonna last this long early on in the fight. He lasted this long. He tried to win. He just, you know, he was the second best tonight against a very, very good fighter. But the fact that he showed this character, you know, gotta give him credit for it as well.
And those were not flash knockdowns in round number 1. He was hurt.
Yeah.
Those were big shots. 1 round to go. A little bit of trash talk. I don't know if it's complimentary or trash talk.
Fight's not over, so I doubt it's complimentary.
Yeah, probably not yet. MYKQUAN Williams seen everything go his way tonight. Barely breathing hard, gentlemen. Looks great in the corner.
And like the champ said, I mean, he's controlling the pace, so it's very easy to do.
Elias Williams swelling around both eyes and bleeding from his nose. That is swollen as well. Probably just breathing through his mouth. Corner trying to urge him on to give 1 more round of this 8-rounder. It's been hard to find a minute to give to Levias Williams, let alone a round.
I'm not giving my scorecards anymore tonight, Jimmy.
I wasn't even gonna ask, Chris.
I got MYKQUAN up every round plus two points in the first round for knockdowns, but what do I know?
It's a 3-point round in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every round plus 2 points.
Yeah.
Round number 8.
10-7
final round. Yeah, the question is, how hard will MYKQUAN fight? He is just angling on the outside. He's fighting like someone who has this in the bag so far.
Well, I think the way he started out moving in the beginning of the round, I think he thinks, hey, you know what, he might, in case Levias comes out desperately, let me try to, you know, relax. Let me see if he walks into some. Now he sees Levias is not so desperate. He's probably been beaten out of him, so he's planting a little bit.
Yeah, the same jab Levias has been throwing from the beginning. Has had almost no success with power punches. Straight hand on the left, lead hook. Nothing has been working. A little bit with the jab, but that's not enough. The question is, what does Levias have left, and what does MYKQUAN want to do in this last round? The fight that he should, if there's any justice, have in the bag.
I'm here.
MYKQUAN's fighting like he's in a sparring session right now. LAVISAS is in a fight for his life, and MYKQUAN's sparring.
Hands up, looking at the shots, seeing everything.
Yeah, he had his guard up there and taking some shots off his gloves. He was looking for a catch and shoot there. He finally tried it. He was just short, but he was looking for that catch and shoot. Big shot on the
right
inside.
hand. This is over. Wow. Good stoppage by the referee. That was not a good fall. He went totally limp.
And that's two of the knockdowns. You know, the first knockdown and this one, where the shots were so short, you didn't think there was going to be a lot of power generated. And that's what I mean about deceptive power that MYKQUAN Williams has. Doesn't have a lot of knockouts on his record. This is going to make it 50%, I think, right? He was 21 over 10 knockouts.
Only 22, 11 knockouts.
Yeah, so you know, it's going to only be 50%. You look at his record on paper, and it's a bit deceptive because this kid can throw short, snappy shots and generate good power. We've seen it now twice here on ProBox TV with stoppages in an impressive fashion.
And they weren't early either. They were both late in the fight.
Yeah, 6 rounds. His last time out on ProBox TV against Luis Feliciano. And in round number 8 against LAVISAS Williams.
And you know what? He punches when you don't expect him to either, so it really throws you off. That's another sharp thing he's got. You see Jackie Callan there in the corner. She made a movie about her. Meg Ryan played her.
Look how short this shot is.
Famous promoter.
Bing! Oh. Yeah, and LAVISAS is trying to get out through that side.
MYKQUAN's not even looking. Looking his head's on the other side. Look, MYKQUAN's not even
so
looking.
Short.
His head is on the other side. He just throws the shot.
You see how we got his body weight into that shot?
That's IQ.
He kept a stiff arm and just put his body through the punch.
Paul, you just said it. Tonight wasn't, I mean, guys have physical talent. We've been in a million gyms with a million guys who have physical talent. This dude's IQ is very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, look, that right there is
that's just intuition.
Yeah, exactly. His head is on the other side. So, if his head is on the other side of LAVISAS' head, that means he doesn't see exactly where LAVISAS' head is at. He just knows it's there. So he has the presence of mind to throw that shot from that angle, and it ends the fight. Good on him.
This guy can fight, man.
You know what it looked like? Arm wrestling. That quick turn where you generate, generate
over the top.
A little over the top right there. The guy turned his hat the other way, and he knocked the guy out. That's what happened.
That sounds straight Long Island.
Thank you.
Turned his hat around and knocked him right out.
Arm wrestling shot. If you're not our age, look it up. Over the top, cinematic masterpiece. But that right hand shot, man, beautifully turned over. MYKQUAN Williams. The sky's the limit for this kid, Chris. This is another guy.
Yeah, another guy that.
Edward Vasquez, you thought he was the most talented?
You said it, Paulie. That's probably not going to get a shot anytime soon because nobody's going to want to watch this and be like, "Oh, that's the guy I want to fight."
Yeah.
Now he's going to have to earn it the hard way. He's going to have to keep winning, keep putting on performances like this, and then get an opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Harvey Dock has stopped this fight at 1 minute 32 seconds of round number 8. Your winner by TKO and still the undefeated, reigning, defending WBA Continental America's Gold Super Lightweight Champion, Marvelous MYKQUAN Williams.
MYKQUAN Williams looking so incredibly impressive tonight. Chris, you're like, oh, when he brings it, he's really good. Tonight, did he bring more than you expected?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting better and better. You know, this is even better than he looked against Feliciano, albeit Feliciano probably a better opponent. But he just showed more game tonight, MYKQUAN Williams, that I didn't know he had.
I'm looking at these 2 knockdowns. It was making me back to the first knockdown. You know, when we said, oh, that second right hand didn't look as hard. Maybe it was so fast, though. Maybe the first one hurt him, and it's just the second one put him down.
It's a delay there,
Because,
that's a really good point.
Because it was so sharp and so fast, you didn't really get to see what the first one did.
Boom.
And that's the last
I love
knockdown.
that shot.
And the way he fell, I want to give props to the referee. Look at the way.
And Harvey Dock's the best in the world. Yeah. Best referee in the world.
LAVISAS fell. That's a bad fall. And
He
the
didn't want
ref
to get out.
Knew that immediately.
You called a lot of your fights over the years. Looked like you came into your grown man strength. Got the stoppage. You told us you wanted to be dominant. Would you describe that as a dominant performance?
For the most part, I think, yeah. There's always room for improvement, but for the most part, I think I was dominant.
Having that big of a performance, and you say there's always room for improvement, what do you feel like you could improve on? Because you look pretty damn good in there.
You know, we got to go back and watch the tape, me and my team, and discuss all that. But like I said, there's always room for improvement.
What was working for you?
My lead right, pressuring him, cutting him off. At times I lacked on that aspect a little bit, but for the most part coming forward, he couldn't fight going backwards, so they was telling me, you know, high guard and go forward.
Now you're top 10 in the WBA. There's some big names. It's a hot division. Your trainer says, I want all the big names. You got any names in mind?
Hey, Lou, set him up, Lou.
You guys saying Teofimo?
Set him up, Lou, whoever. I leave that to my team, my promoter, my manager. Set him up, we'll be ready.
MYKQUAN Williams, great performance. See you back in the ring soon.
You heard it, telling Lou DiBella, set him up. I'm going to knock him down, full of confidence, but that little bit of humility there, hey, man, wasn't perfect. Things I could work on, but looked great tonight and dominant.
You got to take advantage of it. You know, to respond to questions like that in a little bit of a wisecrack way. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you're going to be in a situation where guys aren't just going to give you the opportunity, you're going to have to be a bit more witty. Canobio was asking the right questions there, but I would have asked it back to him. What do you mean? You're asking me? You can't tell I look so great? You know what I mean? Like, I would have, again, even if, and then you got to say, of course, you know, there's always stuff to improve on. Here comes the main event, Jimmy.
That's right, main event coming. MIYO Yoshida, SHURRETTA, METCALF. IBF title on the line in the bantamweight division. It's been a great night of fights. It continues when we come back. We know you would have said more.
ProBox TV Contender Series. November 1st, ProBox TV makes its European debut in collaboration with Conlan Boxing. Padraig the Hammer McCrory returning to the ring to take on the hard-hitting Colombian Leonard Carrillo. And in the co-main, the UK's Robbie Davies Jr. clashes with former two-weight world champ Javier Fortuna of the Dominican Republic. Live from the SSE Arena in Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Welcome back to the ProBox TV studio. Jimmy Smith alongside the champs, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie, I got to ask you, when you look at MYKQUAN Williams and his performance in our co-main event, man, it seems like he was a show stealer tonight so far.
Yeah, so far, I mean, he's looked sharp. And you know, Vasquez did his thing.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
Listen, Vasquez could have probably shown even more, but his opponent quit. So that's good on Vasquez. That's something that you got to give him credit for. But MYKQUAN was able to give us more rounds, something Vasquez did want. He was mad about his opponent quitting. And in giving us more rounds, we saw a lot of the wrinkles to his style. This is a guy who can do a lot and would fit in really nicely in the weight class. But, you know, I got a feeling they're not going to be as excited to just step in the ring with him at a world-class level. He's a risk, but he doesn't bring a lot to the table yet.
Yeah, that's when the politics of boxing come into play. Chris, your thought on that? Is it maybe self-promote a little bit when it comes to the interview? Go off a little bit? What's your thought on that? Needs to maybe self-promote?
Listen, that was his third knockout of this year. Staying busy doesn't hurt, and getting exposure like this, we'll bring him back on our air.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe the mandatory. He's a top 10 WBA. Possibly step into a mandatory position.
He's in a good position. We saw the talent and IQ on display. We'll have the same thing in our main event. It's going to be a fight, a rematch of two fighters who cannot wait to get in there. When you talk about disrespect, SHURRETTA METCALF, that's all she talked about, this tale of tape. METCALF 3 years older than her opponent. 7-inch reach advantage, also a height advantage. She's the boxer coming in, the fighter from Kagoshima, Japan. That is MIYO Yoshida. She is the puncher. Gonna go in, try and throw that right hand. A very entertaining fight the first time around, with METCALF getting the decision. Then METCALF saying that Yoshida didn't want to fight her. I had to dog her into the ring. Now she has her opportunity, and Yoshida has a chance to make her eat her words. There's the champ, MIYO Yoshida, making her way to the ring. Her nickname is a single mother in Japanese. She is the champ, and when you look at the 17 wins, none of them by knockout. Used to going decision. Used to having to outwork her opponents. Can she do it against the boxer tonight in a very interesting rematch in our main event? We're ready to go at Madison Square Garden. SHURRETTA Metcalf knows that this is going to be one of her last opportunities to be a champion. She said, I beat her, then she got the championship opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your main event of the night. It is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, and it is brought to you by Morgan Stanley and Cavu Securities, a New York-based veteran-owned broker-dealer. DeBella Entertainment presents 10 rounds for the IBF Bantamweight World Championship. Your judges for the main event, Max DeLuca, Robert Perez, and Robin Taylor. And now, live for those in attendance at Madison Square Garden in New York City, and the millions watching live all around the world, it's about to go down. Somebody make some noise! And now, introducing first, your challenger fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black, orange, and silver. She weighs 116.4 pounds. Her record, 13 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw, 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Dallas, Texas, she is the former IBF Intercontinental Bantamweight Champion, the Triple D Fight Queen, SHURRETTA Chicken METCALF. And now, her opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the purple and she weighs in at 117.2 pounds. Her record, 17 victories, 4 defeats. Fighting out of New York City by way of Kagoshima, Japan, she is the former WBO Super Flyweight World Champion, 3-time 2-division World Champion, the reigning, defending IBF Bantamweight World Champion, presenting MIYO Tatakahu Yoshida! Your main event referee is Arthur Mercante.
Good evening, ladies. We went over the rules early in the dressing room. I expect you to obey these rules. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Good luck to the both of you.
And we are underway in our main event, IBF World Bantamweight Championship on the line.
Intense stare down there, I like that.
Yeah. Some emotion to this one.
You see Jorge Linares, former world champion, multi-division world champion in the corner of Yoshida.
Yoshida to defend her championship. We talk about the boxing ability of SHURRETTA Metcalf. When she talks about this fight, she doesn't talk about boxing. She talks about the disrespect, the grievance she has that she was the winner. She should be champion. That's how she feels about it.
Look at the size difference in there. SHURRETTA looks like a praying mantis. Long arms, wide base. Trying to box on the outside. She got hit with a big left hook over the top. That's what you got to watch out for. The power punching from Yoshida and the boxing and ring control from SHURRETTA Metcalf.
And we saw that against Ebony Bridges when she won the title. Very good right hands. Threw power punches throughout that fight. Power punches, then clinched. Bridges didn't move her feet much.
It's going to come down to range here in this fight. You know, if Yoshida wants to get those punches off and wants to create that impact and wants to, you know, be active, but if Metcalf keeps it at this distance, just like you're seeing here, it's going to be Metcalf who's mainly active, and Yoshida is not going to be able to get off as many shots.
Last time around, it was the footwork of Metcalf. She was the outside circling a lot. Landing from the outside, that's what won her the decision. But right now, so far, being much more aggressive in this rematch.
Yeah, she's holding her ground much better to start here in round 1. She was in flight quite a bit that first fight, fighting off that back foot, firing on the way out. Now she's standing her ground trying to land some heavy right hands.
And we say it all the time, you know, Yoshida, 17 wins, no knockouts, but punches still hurt, right?
Yeah, she's strong. She's strong. She fights with strength.
Yes.
Yeah, none of them tickle. Good jab though by Metcalf. She's trying to establish that range. I think that probably what she can take out of the first fight is, you know, she needs to be smart about controlling range.
A lot of eye-catching shots from Yoshida, though.
Yeah.
MIYO Yoshida, IBF World Bantamweight Champion. Her first title defense tonight against Metcalf. And in round number 1, the longer, taller Metcalf, the aggressor, taking the center, throwing good combinations. Known for her power shots with that right hand, not able to make that a factor in round number 1. Let's see what she can do in round number 2. Scheduled for 10 2-minute rounds. Yoshida in the purple, gold, and white. Metcalf in the black, orange, and silver.
You see Metcalf trying to measure. She can have the right balance of measuring left with snappy jab left. It'll make Yoshida's life difficult in terms of trying to get close.
Listen, fighting someone like SHURRETTA is difficult. You get a 2-minute round, and you got someone that you have to swim through a 7-inch reach advantage. She's a very, very tough style and body type to beat.
And also, so far, good volume.
Yes, she's been active, very, very active, pumping that left jab.
And from Yoshida's part, you're not going to be able to creep your way in.
No.
You know, that's one thing I don't notice in a lot of females. They don't just change speed on their entrance. You know, a lot of times when it comes to somebody like Metcalf, you know, you stepping in, you're stepping out at a certain speed, but you have to surprise them with a sudden change of speed coming forward. So, you know, I think that would be an adjustment that would be key for somebody like Yoshida right now. She's got to close the gap, but Metcalf is seeing the way she's trying to close the gap, so maybe change that speed on the entrance.
Yeah, Yoshida's not explosive. That's you know, that's why she has no knockouts. She's physically strong, yes, but not explosive. So it's going to be very difficult for her to close that gap in a deceptive way.
Also, so far, the volume definitely on the side of Metcalf.
Oh,
good right hand from
but
Yoshida.
shots like that, man, those eye-catching shots.
Yeah, and that was also bad balance on the part of Metcalf. She got caught squared up, and a clean right hand there by Yoshida does the trick.
Good jab from Yoshida, another one.
And you said, champ, in the first round, the eye-catching shots from Yoshida are going to, you know, possibly be a factor.
In a 2-minute round, it doesn't take much.
Because Metcalf throws a lot of shots, but not a lot lands. But sometimes she just buries Metcalf. She just buries Yoshida in activity. But you don't get the same eye-catching shots as Yoshida.
That was 4 punches that hit nothing but air.
Yeah. And then Yoshida came back with a good left hook.
Yep.
End of round number 2. This round number 2, of course, Yoshida able to get in a little bit more effectively than she was in round number 1. Made the proper adjustments and may have just walked into a fight she wasn't quite prepared for. Last time, Metcalf played the outside, angled quite a bit. This time, planting her feet in the center.
May not pay off. She got hit with some big shots. She got knocked off balance with a good right hand.
You just don't know what these judges do.
I was going to say, Jimmy, do not ask me to judge this or what I'm thinking, because I can't score 3-minute rounds, apparently. I'm definitely not going to do 2.
Just so you know, from behind the scenes, when Chris gets a little butthurt, this is how it goes. Fine, who needs my scorecard? Fine. And he throws it into the trash, and he's like this the rest of the night. It happens.
Well, I get very sensitive about judging.
Round number 3 scheduled for 10. The champ, MIYO Yoshida, on your left in the purple, gold, and white. Of Kagoshima, Japan. On the right, SHURRETTA Metcalf. She is in the black, orange, and silver, fighting out of Dallas, Texas. Rematch of a fight won controversially by Metcalf. It's a real contrast in styles. First time out, Metcalf on the outside, boxing, angling, moving, but Yoshida being the aggressor.
Yeah, I feel like this is also the kind of fight where Metcalf just stuck with one hand, just a jab. I don't think Yoshida would ever get close. You know what happens? Yoshida ends up making her pay. when Metcalf forces his right hands or throws them wide or something, Yoshida is able to sneak her way inside and land a cleaner shot. So, good right hand there by Metcalf. But you see, when Metcalf, honestly, it's the kind of fight where Metcalf, just with the lead hand, could control. But you see, she's trying to throw a right hand there, and she gets hit by a Yoshida right hand. At this point right here, watch when Metcalf is busy on the left hand. There's nothing Yoshida can do. And now she gives ground again. It's just choices. Fights are choices and decision making. You move when you shouldn't move, and Yoshida gets it. Good right hand there, though.
If Metcalf had an uppercut, she could actually do some real damage because Yoshida's so much over that front foot. And she falls forward a lot. When she throws and she just falls forward, she's there for the uppercut. But I've never seen Shurretta throw an uppercut.
She's the shorter fighter, and she fights short. Punches down on her punches for sure. Good call, champ. Uppercut will be a valuable weapon right now. Good right hand. See why the first fight was close.
Oh, this one's going to be close, too.
Awkward style from both of them.
Whoa. Ooh.
More
eye-catching shot.
Corner of Shurretta Metcalf, the challenger tonight for the IBF World Bantamweight Championship. 13-4-1, only 2 knockouts in those 13 wins. There is the champ, MIYO Yoshida. 17-4, no knockouts to her credit. We have started to mix it up. First 3 rounds in round number 4 scheduled for 10, only 2-minute rounds. You pointed out a lot, Chris. It doesn't take a lot to have success in 2 minutes. A couple good punches can win you a round.
Yeah, a couple eye-catching shots, being active, controlling the space. Time ticks off fast. Yoshida's now jabbing with the jabber. Very, very smart. Good tactic.
And trying to use that power jab, right? To step in with Metcalf's jab.
Yeah, she's putting that right hand in front of her face, stepping in with a power jab. But it's so much more obvious because you see Shurretta's chin go up in the air. Oh, there's the uppercut.
Waiting for it the whole time, and as she threw it, it was successful. Catching Yoshida coming in. Some redness around the forehead of Yoshida.
Body shot there from Yoshida. Oh, there it is again.
Power jab.
It's so, I mean, it looks bad when your head looks like a Pez dispenser.
Yoshida getting close, using the numbers when she does get close. I tell you, when Yoshida can close the gap, she likes to throw those numbers.
Nice adjustment on the jabs with Yoshida.
Yeah. There it is again.
Ooh, switched up to a hook there. Yeah, these ladies, these rounds are back and forth. Good Yoshida round this round, good Metcalf round last round.
No one right now can feel comfortable with the lead because, to your point, it has been back and forth, Chris. Champ doing good adjustments with the jab, getting out-jabbed early.
The first fight was a tight scorecard. Both felt they won the fight, so styles make fights, man.
And Paulie, as you said, certain fighters, you put them in 20 times, you're gonna have 20 close fights. It's just stylistically, that's the way it's gonna work.
And to agree with the champ Chris, I mean, 2-minute rounds, it makes it tough. Sometimes you wish they had the extra minute where you make, sometimes it's only in that final minute where you can tell the men apart,
Very, very true. Shurretta Metcalf throughout this fight. We were talking about it. She talked about her the sparring ability, what she went through in camp to get ready. She said, I went through hell to get ready for this rematch. And she, once again, ready. She wants to take the title. Round number 5, scheduled for 10.
Jimmy, every round starts out the same. Metcalf trying to establish a jab early.
Yep. Taking the center, planting her feet, trying to establish the jab.
Usually, though, Yoshida can't really get started until Metcalf makes a mistake and throws the right hand when she shouldn't. But in the last couple of rounds now, we've noticed Yoshida's adjustment with the power jab. She's been trying to jab with Metcalf. There's the uppercut again from Metcalf.
And one thing, when Yoshida gets aggressive, yep, a lot of times she catches Metcalf, and Metcalf will kind of fly backwards. Like, her balance is just off, and Yoshida's able to push her back. Chris, you talked about the physical strength. Not a power puncher, but physically strong.
Yeah, you can see it. You see the way that she's able to body her against the ropes like that, the way that she backs her up when she lands shots. A lot of that has to do with the balance of Shurretta Metcalf, too. You know, you think about Tommy Hearns, not the most balanced guy when you're tall and long.
Well, you know what it is with Metcalf, too? She also gives up some of her height. She stays real. She gets down real too.
And that's what I mentioned, a praying mantis. Sometimes her stance is very, very wide.
Yeah.
Almost as you've seen before, karate stance, real wide with the feet.
Good angle there created by Metcalf, though she stepped around. She's throwing all uppercuts and hooks now on the inside. Smart adjustment. See, they're both good. They keep adjusting round after round. Good body shot from Metcalf.
Diving in from Yoshida there.
Ooh. Metcalf feel a little more confident this round.
Yeah, this is a very good round.
We talk about the numbers that Yoshida wants to put in, but Metcalf putting in some good numbers from a good range where Yoshida can't be effective.
She's done her work. It has been generally from the outside, very successful with that in round number 5. Yoshida trying to finish strong.
And then she gets up high when she shouldn't.
Some of that action from round 5. A good round for Shurretta Metcalf. But Yoshida trying to finish strong.
Yeah, she had a good couple shots there at the end, but for the most part, that was a Shurretta Metcalf round. She was pretty dominant, letting those hands go.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, for Metcalf to get up high and use that height, but then it's also when you choose to do that, she does it when Yoshida gets close. But, you know, at that point, you're going to pay for being up high.
We're halfway through this 10-round fight. Round number 6 scheduled for 10. IBF World Bantamweight Championship on the line. Currently held by the woman on your left, MIYO Yoshida of Kagoshima, Japan.
Ooh, good timing right hand for Yoshida. Oh, and a good left hook. Yeah, see these ladies back at each round, it's a pendulum.
There's the uppercut again. Now Metcalf using that left uppercut as well. And early on she was having success with the right uppercut, but now a couple of times I've seen that left uppercut. And like you said, Champ, I mean, Yoshida's in a position where she can take uppercuts from either hand. A little bit over that front knee, you know?
Yep. Very aggressive. Falls forward at times. I mean, you said it earlier, Shurretta could win this fight with just her left hand. If she was able to jab, hook, and uppercut off that hand and just keep her right hand tight.
Gentlemen, we expected coming in, especially with the difference in builds, a lot of clinching. That hasn't been the case.
No.
They've been active with their punches throughout every single round. Ebony Bridges fight, she won the title. Yoshida did clinch a lot. She initiated those clinches, and not a lot of opportunities for that in this fight.
But Yoshida also took that fight on very short notice, you know, so she might not have been in this kind of condition where she could fight the whole round without clinching. Here, obviously, different scenario.
Oh, another good right hand.
Chopping hard shots from Yoshida here.
And trying to use that physicality as well, trying to push back Metcalf, put her on the back foot, take away some momentum as well.
Metcalf in this round feeling the physical pressure of Yoshida.
Oh, stiff jabs.
There's MIYO Yoshida, IBF World Bantamweight Champion. It has been a back and forth fight. Both fighters have made good adjustments. Yoshida looking good in that last round.
Yeah, that was an excellent round for Yoshida, and the round before was an excellent round for Metcalf. They're going round for round. They're playing tag here at this point, going back and forth. But good adjustments from both ladies. I'm curious to see or to hear what's being told in the corner.
Adjustment. There's not been consistency.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You can see Metcalf knows how to use her height well in spots, but in those spots, it's not enough. You know, she doesn't consistently stay with it, and it's on her own decision making. And then Yoshida, she's able to get on that front foot and push back Metcalf at times. You know, if she'd be consistent with that, she'd have a lot more success. But then she does it, and then she just steps back and gives Metcalf range, and it gives Metcalf a chance to hold range. So if somebody could be consistent with the adjustments, I think they would take control of the fight. But right now, it's gone back and forth for that reason.
We've seen the game plans that work, right?
Yes.
From both ladies. We just haven't seen them institute them consistently. Very, very true.
And Jimmy, like you said, they could fight 300 times. It's gonna be like
for
this every
Yoshida.
time.
And Metcalf, again, she gets her most up high when she's really close.
Yep.
She's up high and squared. You want to see her fight tall and up high, but at the range she's supposed to.
And so far, gentlemen, I gotta say, very entertaining fight. Both ladies very, very busy. Both throwing a lot of punches.
And not a lot of clinches, like you said, which can really slow down a fight.
Round number 7. Metcalf trying to use that lead hand. That's been her key to the fight, and she's had success. Been with that long jab. Excellent job with the uppercut. The punch Yoshida has been in position for throughout this fight.
Tit for tat here.
Good uppercuts, though. Catching Yoshida coming in this round. Yoshida has a tendency to finish rounds strong.
Yeah, and the guy could be sometimes the difference maker in these competitive rounds.
You do wonder, of course, what the advice is. Only speaking English in her corner.
I would love to hear these. I would love to hear these corners tonight.
See what right hand, you see where Metcalf was up high, squared. And these eye-catching shots become more eye-catching when her positioning is busted like that.
Chris, is part of the problem the footwork of Shurretta Metcalf. She's a little bit out of position with the feet, as you said, off balance, maybe a little too. When she gets hit, she kind of falls a little bit.
It's so obvious when she gets hit, and that's the issue. And even if the punch isn't that clean, when your head gets popped up way in the air, when you get pushed off balance, you know, judges can't help but note that.
Well, Teddy Atlas talked about the defensive ability of Roberto Duran. He said the problem was he had big hair. It looked like he was getting hit when he was rolling punches. Like, man, it's a good way to put it. The little things.
And that hair,
notice that.
That hair is more wet at the beginning of rounds too.
You bet.
You get a big shot at the beginning of the round, and the thing is splashing everywhere.
Dude, that big hair back in the day. We're on round number 8, scheduled for 10. Only 2-minute rounds. Keep that in mind. Hear the crowd, Madison Square Garden, New York. ProBox TV with DeBella Entertainment.
Yeah, Champ, we were talking about the Metcalf's left hand. Yoshida's left hand's pretty good, man. She hooks off it.
It's It's been a different kind of left hand, right? It's been more of a power jab and looking for the.
She hooks off it well.
Hook, yeah.
Changes levels.
And you see she's able to push her way in sometimes with it. And then once she's able to do that, whether it lands clean or not, if she's able to hold that range, she's able to turn it into a hook at times.
Nice body jab there from Yoshida. Stiff stick to the body there. Boom, another one. Right to the pit of the stomach.
This is the rematch Sharretta Metcalf wanted. Has her chance to put a stamp on it. 40 seconds left to go in round number 8. Championship rounds of this 10-rounder.
Boom.
Ooh,
good catch. Good catch.
McKenzie gets in there.
He does.
Intercepted that right hand.
Beautiful job, Martha McCanty, legendary referee. For good and bad reasons.
And Champ, you know what I like about this fight? You can tell they don't like each other.
Yeah.
It's not
a
like
little chippy.
You mentioned how you don't like when the ladies like hug after, you know, right? Like, I don't think we're gonna see that. This.
I noticed it at the stare down, you know?
Yeah.
It's center ring.
We got some ladies with some bad blood.
Good right hand there again. At the belt.
One thing is, neither fighter can feel good about being ahead right now. Neither fighter can think they have it in the bag with 2 rounds left. Only 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Sharretta Metcalf wants to be a champion. This is her opportunity. She needs to finish strong. Wouldn't surprise me if the scorecards are all over the place. I will not ask Chris Algieri.
Nope.
What is, no, I'm not
One
even.
thing you want to be,
look at Chris.
one thing you want to be able to do to be safe. You want to try to win these last couple rounds.
definitely.
I mean, you got it.
Finish strong.
Very, very important. Can't take anything for granted right now in a fight like this.
It's not part of the rules, but gotta take it from the champ. That's how a lot of people see it. A lot of judges see it.
Yeah, but that's not always a case either, right?
You never know. Here we go, round number 9.
If for what it's worth, you know, Yoshida is at home, I guess, you know, so to speak. She trains in New York. Her base is New York. Training.
Sharretta Metcalf out of Texas.
Yeah, I believe she trains at Gleason's.
Famous gym. You gentlemen both know it well.
Yep, that's where I learned to box. Good jab there by Metcalf. You see when it's right there, you see even Yoshida just steps back when it's a sharp, effective jab. It steps back. But you see Metcalf is just so intense trying to get in there. She doesn't understand that range control there. She just has to find her way in and winds up doing Yoshida a favor, and then Yoshida steals moments like that.
With only 2-minute rounds, not a lot of moments to steal. Good thudding right hand from Metcalf.
But remember, Metcalf's balance is so bad that when Yoshida steals moments, Metcalf's head is all over the place and body's stumbling all over the place. So it looks like the better shots are landing. And in a fight this close, it's all the little nuances that make a difference. Good jab there from Yoshida. Good hook there as well. And another good hook there. She was looking for the uppercut. Yoshida making the adjustment. Now, you want to look for the uppercut, I'll throw that hook at you.
I love that stiff arm jab from Yoshida.
30 seconds left to go, round number 9.
And again, you see in that second half of the round where Yoshida usually does better. He's starting to come on again. A little good left right hand there by Metcalf.
Metcalf with a nice little left hook downstairs. Trying to mix things up here. Nice stiff jab there from Metcalf.
Metcalf leading, Yoshida finding space for her straight punches in between. 1 more round to go.
You know, Ludabella said this fight was going to be better than the first one. He was not wrong.
He's right.
I don't remember them landing this many clean shots on the first one. This has been a very, very good fight.
This is where it's not about technique, it's about your will to win, your will to be a champion. We're looking at the champion, MIYO Yoshida. One of her 4 losses to SHURRETTA Metcalf. Battle back to become a champion on late notice against Ebony Bridges. SHURRETTA Metcalf thought that opportunity should have been hers.
Both ladies look like they're going through it in the corners, man. This is it.
Getting those final instructions,
Yeah,
like,
this is
they
it.
win this round, close it strong. Could be the difference in the fight, who knows?
They're both dialed in. Love it.
Both dialed in. A lot of emotions in this fight.
This is a bite down in the mouthpiece round.
Well, who wants it more? And in almost every round, SHURRETTA Metcalf has started out strong with straight punches.
Yeah, but this time she gave up her range, trying to start fast. Let's see, and she's taking some shots to go in there again.
The crowd is into it too. It's after 11 p.m. Here on the East Coast, and you got women, ladies in the main event, and the crowd is into it.
Yeah, we're
It's a
hearing
good sign on a Wednesday.
Yeah, very.
It's Wednesday night in New York City.
Yeah, very entertaining main event. Lou DiBella and ProBox bringing this one from Madison Square Garden.
Again, that push jab there, champ, from Yoshida. It's been one of the ways she's had some success in closing the range.
It's
There
been
it
the
is
most
again.
consistent weapon for either woman tonight. Has been that jab. Oh, big right hand.
Sneaky right hand.
See, when Metcalf figures out range, he lands good shots. And those Yoshida trying to get the points back right away, trying to send her
Metcalf seems to have
backwards.
good pop on her punches too. You can hear them. a little
Nice
different.
left hook.
Ooh, good shots there by Yoshida, but again, it's because Metcalf's feet are all over the place. See, there's no reason for Metcalf to throw a right hand from 5 miles away with the height difference she has. You know, like she can use her left hand and jab there.
You've seen that a lot though. She'll throw a right hand from way too far away.
Yeah.
That's like lands 18 inches away from.
Yeah. When she's, got the height advantage herself, she doesn't have to give it up like that. And Yoshida pounces. Yoshida looks for a good right hand there by Yoshida.
Under 10 seconds.
Another big right hand.
Right on the chin.
Jimmy,
Good
just like you
shot.
said, Yoshida looks to steal at the end of the round. Lands 2 good right hands and almost landed that 3rd one as well.
Veteran work from the champ, but was it enough to retain her title? That's the question. Throwing her arms in the air, but
It's going to be one of those fights where both sides didn't think they want to get.
Yeah. They got Sosa in the corner there, so probably not Gleason's.
Yeah, you already
take that back.
And they make their rounds in all kinds of gyms.
True.
Going around sparring and stuff.
MIYO Yoshida, SHURRETTA Metcalf both gave it their all in a very entertaining fight, gentlemen. Here's some highlights.
I'd like to see that. That's the one.
And Metcalf took that right hand because she was looking to throw a right hand from 6 miles away. She changed her mind, but kept her weight on her front foot. And Yoshida's like, all right, I'll throw it. I'll step it in. I'll just throw it.
Yeah, it was
There
right
it
on
is.
the money.
Very avoidable shot.
See, you
Not
said
bad
the
to
first
take.
time you said it was from 5 miles away. That one was from 6 miles away. So
That's why
really
why she changed her mind. She didn't throw it. If she was 5 miles away, she would have threw it.
So
she changed her mind. But what happens is she kept her weight on the front foot now. She transferred her weight to the front foot. Meantime, Yoshida was stepping in, so she threw her own right hand.
Good awareness by Yoshida to see that off-balance moment.
It's little things that you can always improve on, even though these women are champions. You want to, there's always little techniques and subtleties. Like MYKQUAN Williams said at last fight, always things you can improve on.
Well, Yoshida's a champion. Metcalf's never been a champion.
Yeah, either way.
Potentially could be a champion.
Either way, there's things to improve on for both of them.
Yeah.
Yoshida's been a 2-time champion, right? Reductions.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, she was in a lower weight class than this one.
Does the difference become the way Yoshida consistently closed the rounds? In 2-minute rounds, could
last 30 seconds, she was
that be a difference? Or is the first beginning of part of the rounds not that far away when it's 2-minute rounds, so the judges do remember? Who knows? So the beginning of rounds, Metcalf did tend to start at a fast pace, but Metcalf did a bad job of giving up a lot of her height a lot of times. If Metcalf loses this fight, that's one thing to really pinpoint. She gives up her height a lot and gives her opponents a chance to hit her when she really doesn't have to at that height with the weapons she has at her disposal from that height. See Jorge Linares multi-time, multi-weight world champion, talking to Yoshida.
But he also trained in Japan quite a bit, and he speaks Japanese.
Yes. You know what? You're right, man.
He speaks Japanese.
When I remember training in LA, Lennar spoke no English. He only spoke Spanish and Japanese. He had just come from Japan.
There you go.
Right. There might be the connection there.
Japanese
well
connection.
qualified to coach a Japanese fighter.
Yeah.
Chinese Connection was a great Bruce Lee movie. Japanese Connection was how Lennar's got in the corner.
And Yoshida, very nice.
One of my favorite, by the way.
Yes, Chinese Connection,
It's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Oh, these scorecards are taking a while.
Yeah. Ooh, that means it's close. And dull suspense. Let's go to the ring in Madison Square Garden.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give both of these fighters a big round of applause. After 10 rounds of World Championship fighting, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Max DeLuca scores it 96-94. Robert Perez scores it 97-93. Robin Taylor scores it 99-91 for your winner by unanimous decision. And IBF Bantamweight World Champion, SHURRETTA
A bit stunning when the other judges had it comparatively close. I could see those cards. 99-91.
99-91 is
absurd.
Absurd. In either direction.
Right, in either direction. It's a very close
direction.
fight, yeah. 96-94 made a lot more sense. That is it, a new champion, a new IBF World Bantamweight champion. Her name is SHURRETTA METCALF, 2-0 against MIYO Yoshida. Yoshida, of course, disappointed with the decision. Very close fight. As we said, one scorecard, 99-91, is absolutely insane. We saw a very close fight from the studio here. 1 or 2 rounds separating these ladies, but a very tough, very entertaining fight. Metcalf more aggressive this time around. Stayed behind the jab, the straight right hand. Fantastic performance by her, but Yoshida looked good. Excellent use of the jab herself, very accurate with the right hand. Back and forth rounds, back and forth fight.
I thought Yoshida fought a lot better this fight than the first fight, and the first fight was a lot closer than this fight.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But I totally agree with that statement. Where if they fought 30 times, I think we get 30 very close fights.
Well, unless we had that judge.
Yeah, apparently whoever had it 99-91 wasn't paying attention.
Refrain from my thoughts.
All right, here with the winner and new champion SHURRETTA METCALF. How does that sound?
Man, I've been waiting to hear that for years. I've been waiting. What's up?
How can you put this into words? I know it means a lot to you. You're about to have your 40th birthday. I can say that because you told me yourself. How does it feel? This is the ultimate birthday gift.
This is definitely my birthday gift. This is my gift. This is my gift to my city, Dallas. I know they're watching right now. What's up, D-Town? It's the Triple D Fight Queen. What's up?
Take us through the fight. I felt like the first half, you were trying to find your power. In rounds 4 and 5, you really stepped on the gas pedal. You found the range, and you sat down on your punches. From rounds 5 through on, you looked very impressive in there. Take us through your game plan and how you were able to execute.
I knew the first fight I moved a lot, and that's how I was fighting her, and I wasn't putting much power in. This time I wanted to sit down on my punches, and I did that. I wanted her to feel me this time. I wanted to come and make a statement.
What's next for you? This is now 20 really close rounds with Yoshida. Would you give her a rematch? You want to move on to a different contender?
I mean, she really didn't want to give me a rematch, but, you know, it's whatever. If the money's there, then, you know, we'll fight her again.
SHURRETTA METCALF and new IBF champ. What a performance.
You heard it. She didn't want to give me a rematch. She get one. You shall see. 20 very close rounds. Unless apparently whatever judge that was who called it 99-91. A very close fight in our main event from New York. It was a great night of fights. Start out, of course, in the heavyweight division, and we saw talent in every single fight, every single weight class, constant entertainment. Fighters from all over the world in a variety of weight classes, but a lot of talent on display tonight. Lou DiBella alongside ProBox TV, giving you a great event, a title fight in our main event. Very, very close, no matter how you saw it. An excellent performance just before her 40th birthday. SHURRETTA Williams becoming a world champion from the Big Apple. We will see you November 1st. That's right, from Ireland. It is Carrillo versus McCrory, 18-1, 9 knockouts versus 17-5 with 16 KOs in the light heavyweight division. Then November 9th, not only a ton of talent, Nicholas Flaz versus Christian Gomez, with the return of Joe Diaz. For everyone behind the scenes here at ProBox TV, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Trying to push back.